Start this shit. Yep.
Oh, I need to hit the button.
I've seen you struggle with that old gear, fighting those giants year after year. Tonight I'm showing you something new. Rare Cats Tackle's got nothing to prove. Built by fighters who know the game, tested in battles that earned their name. J&S signature, that's what we trust. When monster cats strike, this rod's a must. You paid your dues, now raise stakes. This is the moment, the change you'll make. No more playing small. This squad's built to brawl. River Cats Tackle, answering the call. When giants strike, we're standing tall. J&S signature leading the way, breaking the limits day after day. No more playing small. This squad's built to brawl.
Howdy doody, everybody.
Decoration.
We got a full panel. I think we got even more coming up after this.
Howdy, howdy.
He's not labeled there, but that's even
Crappie Dave.
Sir Michael Creech.
Michael?
Yeah, and I said sir even.
I knew
He's
it.
knighted.
We got Jerry in.
Well, that's a surprise for everybody, ain't it?
Yeah, it is.
What's up, Matt Ryan?
Let's see. Oh, we jumped to
Matt Ryan
15.
doing in here.
Everybody's coming in. Let's see. Since we're gonna have a
We got
lot on
Troy
panel
from
tonight,
Royal
so I'm
and
probably
Virgil.
gonna keep the overlay off.
Yep.
Troy, Matt Ryan. Oh boy, yeah, just kind of giving everybody a minute.
Hey, Darren.
We've got a lot to do, a lot to talk about.
Maybe.
I was actually John. I was actually backstage pre-planning what we're talking about first. Because we actually kind of have to a little bit.
I feel it in my-
What's up, Greenwell?
Hey, Greenwell,
No, he's hot.
did we technically beat Bill Dance? Was he actually fishing?
No.
Not in the tournament he wouldn't. I think they usually take him out like during the pre-fishing.
Okay, that's what I thought. I'd put that on my resume.
I know, right?
What's that got to do with it? What the?
He's not coming up unless they catch a fish. Danny Stone should be coming up at some point, I'm assuming.
Leave stuff alone.
Yeah, I forced him into it.
Yeah, very much so. I was told, hey, by the way, you're coming on the show. I was like, I don't know. All right.
I did ask you a week ago, and you're like, yeah, that sounds fine, and you had forgot. And then I reminded you.
I didn't forget.
What's up, old boy?
Hey, Grimwell, I'll get with you a little later.
Yeah, buddy. Benoit, ladies here.
Uh-oh.
One of the biggest boat upgrades from one to the next of anybody.
Yes.
That new thing is awesome.
They keep upgrading, and man, they are making some big steps.
Mhm.
Like, Jeremy told me the other day, by percentage of improvement, they did way more upgrade than Jeremy's.
Oh yeah. Way more. They have all the room for activities now.
Hey, John
I didn't do it.
called out there.
Apparently, Matt Ryan needs a shirt.
Matt Ryan said he ain't got his shirt yet.
He wasn't going to get it.
Won it.
I'm assuming Danny's coming.
Oh, I forgot.
Might be ending out his first. Does Danny know what time it is? I don't have his screen up anymore to see. But what we're going to start with tonight, that's why Jeremy's actually here. We're going to talk about Vicksburg. It's a week in the past now.
Yeah.
The people had questions. There's stories to tell, which we need Danny for. But Jeremy, if you want to give, I've got a few screens up of when we were coming in and some stuff to show on a separate screen. If you want to give a quick little you know, while everybody finishes coming in, kind of start talking about the Vicksburg experience.
Well, you can't talk about this year without talking about last year's Vicksburg. You know, last year Vicksburg, first major tournament I've ever fished in my life, and it was me, Jerry, and Spiron decided we were going to fish that, and pretty much anything that could have gone wrong did go wrong last year. Finished, I think we finished 51 in 51st place out of everything. Then fast forward to this year, different crew fishing it, new boat, new everything. We prepped for this tournament 4 months ahead of time. Just everything we could possibly do to be ready, we did it. And I have to say that, we made a plan. We did exactly what we said we were going to do as far as the plan went. And it got us into day 2. It really did. And to finish in a 23rd place overall against, 100 of the baddest dudes in the country, it's big improvement from last year. Very happy with where we finished out at. And we're going for a check next year. They ain't no doubt about it.
Mark came in, crappie day.
Hey, Matt. You got to call me and get on the shipping department.
What's up, Cold Creek?
And then your ass.
So we'll talk about it, but we've been saving everybody that has questions about the tournament, no matter who it's for or whatever. And we're talking the fishermen, the booth, the experiences, any questions.
Yep.
Tonight's the night. Whoever has an answer will go ahead and answer stuff. But Randy ran away.
Maybe he had to
So
go. Where's Lance run off to?
I don't know.
I don't think
What up,
it's
y'all?
off.
What's up, Lisa?
I'll get it started. Here's day 1. This is from the Your Saltwater Guide that V did. Here's us coming in on day 1.
Are we muted right now? Are we muted right now?
No,
Okay. I was scared.
And for anybody who's never been there, that crowd was going crazy. I mean, anytime a boat comes through, the crowd goes nuts. I mean, it's you feel like you're at a rock concert, man. It's crazy.
You think there's more people there this year than there was last year?
It seemed like it. I don't know what the numbers are, but that crowd sure seemed bigger than last year.
It looked
Maybe it was the moment. You notice Becky and Tyler on the front of the boat throwing stuff.
Yep.
We're in the back of the boat. I do like how that Creole's Guide Service pops on the side of the boat in the videos.
It did.
It's like somebody's going to call and book a trip because of that. How did it feel at that moment, Jeremy?
Knocked her over.
How are you feeling?
At that moment, I mean, it's always exciting coming in that building. The kids screaming and throwing stuff out and everything. It was a great moment. And at that moment there, we had kind of convinced ourselves that we weren't going to make day 2 because we thought our weight was a little low. Well, lo and behold, when Alex said, "Hey, you need 68 to get in day 2," I knew immediately. I said, "Oh, we got it. We got this." And I was trying to just contain myself a little bit.
Yeah, Carrie says there was more people. There was definitely more chairs out because it kind of squished the booth back more than last year.
The woman that was running the Civic Center down there said that it was a couple of hundred people, couple 300 people more came through this year.
Okay.
The first day, and she said the second day they were expecting it to be about 500 over what it was last year.
Wow. I don't know. Stan snuck in. Stan wasn't even in Vicksburg.
Keep him muted.
Carrie, it
Yeah,
looked like
he's not-
Is he
having a
muted?
blast on that
He's
front
not
I'll tell you
muted.
what, Vicksburg, amazing, amazing. Man, I wish everybody could have been there. What a trip it was.
Oh my God.
And
Yeah,
thanks
so-
to V, we got to experience a lot of that.
Watch it. I'll finish this part. Watch this. The first day we had bigger fish. So watch the fish that Danny and Jeremy pull out. Specifically, the one Jeremy's holding was
Yeah.
very, very alive.
Okay, now before you show that, a little bit of backstory on that fish. That fish, since the moment we caught it, would lay on his back, belly up in my live well, just like this. The whole
He was doing the
time,
backstroke.
just chilling out, just lazy the whole time. The fish was acting like it was half dead. Watch what it does to me when I get him out the live well.
How worried were you about that, though?
Oh, I knew.
We were worried for the first couple hours, but then it turned out it was just his swim bladder that was full. We tried to pipe him, it didn't work. But he was getting plenty of oxygen. He would just, it's like he's having a backstroke at the beach. You just,
sitting there doing the backstroke in my live well the whole time.
You know what? I get tired swimming sometimes too, and I just got to kind of float around a little bit. And just,
Oh, yeah.
I get it. I get it.
That was the laziest fish I've ever seen up until this moment.
until this moment. But here it
Until
is.
this.
That's the blonde line.
Oh, is it?
Yeah. There's the lazy fish. Beating the daylight out of me. And you can't hear me, but I'm saying some bad words to that fish right about then. They were mad.
Boy, he was smacking you. I was laughing watching that.
Oh, he was smacking me.
You saw when I turned and looked, I was like, oh crap.
What's up, Uncle G?
Well, Jeremy, kudos to you, Trio, for keeping the death grip on that dang.
It was a death grip. I had my arm wrapped around him. I said, look, I ain't dropping it. I am not dropping this fish in front of these people.
Dude, what would be the more embarrassing? Tripping going up on the stage to get your diploma, or dropping a monster fish like that?
You don't drop a fish in that tournament. You don't want to be that
There you
guy.
go, bam. Can you imagine? Oh God.
And seeing those fish react that way is proof of good live well. That's what you want to see.
Yeah.
But this is Danny pulling out the third little fish. That was our kicker.
Whoa, there's the kicker.
Yep, that's our little
He
kicker.
certainly was.
It seemed like he was kicking.
Oh yeah.
I want to play it to so y'all see our excitement. We honestly didn't know if we made day 2 yet.
Yeah, we did. Yeah, we did. know.
Yeah, y'all are too calm already. Just look at that.
It's up here. We're looking for 68 plus.
Oh, there it is, right there. It's a light, middle of the screen at the top. Oh,
Yep, 76 even. That was our day one away.
And that moment is why my voice was sore for a week.
look at that.
I think there was something else involved with that.
Tank, when's the last time you jumped that high?
A week. It's been about a week.
Before that.
I don't know.
See, I didn't even see in this moment. I didn't even notice that Jeff Dodd had come over and was shaking everybody's hands because I was fighting these pissed off fish again to get them back in my live well so we could take them away.
Real,
I didn't even notice.
But at least it didn't disown you.
Can you guys do me a favor? When we're, there's a lot of people out there. I've been doing this for a few years now, but I've been more on the. A lot of us have not really got involved with, the MRM or the bigger tournaments or the thing. So we hear names like, Nagy and thing, and we're like, who's that? And for as much as they've done, you know, a lot of us have not got involved with that side of it yet,
Right.
and there is there. So when you know, just a little when you talk names like that, just throw a little bit about what they've
Right.
done and what they're doing for that type of the
Right.
world, because a lot of people don't realize it.
I thought Benoit Fishing, they actually had a question. They said, what was the hardest part? For me in these tournaments, the most difficult part is time management, because you've got to manage your time well, hit all the spots you want to hit, go where you want to go, make sure you don't show up late, fishing times, all this. That's the most difficult part for me, is that time management.
Especially because we're not going to say exactly where we went, but we made a long run, and that long run makes that difficult.
Oh yeah.
How many other tournaments? Now I know this is kind of a big one. Have y'all done any other? And of course, we've got our YouTube tournaments. We know Creole Catfish and the bus driver, and we know the success, and we know how what's the word I'm looking for? Laser focused on those tournaments you were. Like for a tournament like this, was the focus, was you more intense, or was it just that same? You're in the same mode because it doesn't matter if it's a little competition or big one. You're just a bus driver. And,
it's very
with Andrew, you guys are just
different.
focused.
The focus is different because in the YouTube tournaments, what everybody else is doing every moment. If you're behind, if you're ahead, everything that's going on in the moment. With these tournaments here, you have no idea of what anybody else is doing, what kind of fish weights there are. It's just a very different experience. It really is. I don't know, to say that I was more focused or less. It's kind of hard to say. It's a different type of focus.
Yeah. What do you think, Tank?
I think one of the biggest things, it's not to look small at what's difficult. The difficult part is me and Jeremy, because he was limited by work and illness actually the week before.
Yeah.
So let me back up all the way to a week before the tournament. Jeremy was, it might have been COVID. Jeremy was really sick. He couldn't help with anything. And the pro staff knows, because I was joking about it in chat. I was pouring weights. I got the boat ready. I got the truck where just by necessity, not knocking on Jeremy, I got everything ready the week of.
Yep.
And then we were on the water for most of the day from Thursday to Sunday. It feels way more of a marathon than like the online show up for your one day thing, especially Vicksburg being a 2-day tournament. And your weights are wiped, so you have to find fish 2 days in a row.
Yeah. And those spots have been hammered already by some of the best anglers in the country, bar none.
Yep.
So those obvious spots, you fish, especially you're fishing newer waters, and you're like, I'm going to try this. Well, guess what? Ray Ferguson has been there already. Everybody's known now it's where you get those.
Yeah, there was 87 other teams out there checking all these spots.
Yep.
Every spot that you think, hey, I've got something great for. Within 20 miles, there is another tournament angler been there or will be there. At least one more boat.
I mean, there were day one. There were 2 other boats in our spot day one that actually beat us there by a little bit.
Yeah.
And just look, I don't mean to interrupt you. Danny is going to pop back. He's going to pop in. He's out with Richard. That's where I was a little bit late. We finished up it was a fishing show. Yeah. They caught a nice one right at the end. So congratulations, Danny and Richard. They're going upstream. They're going to get some bait. They're going to move back down to a spot. And if nothing else, Danny said he's going to pop up, go over his thoughts of the tournament. And but he'll be in tonight. He'll be in at some point.
Mike Greenwell wants to know how far we ran.
I will tell you this. Total for both days, I kind of did a little math in my head. I put 450 miles on my boat in 2 days.
And day 2 we didn't go as far.
Yeah, I didn't go as far day 2.
Should have trimmed it out a little bit more the first day and beat those other guys down there.
Yeah.
Both other ones were in Monster Cats and had no fear.
Yeah.
They were They were gone.
Right. But I will say this though, it was kind of funny when I made the turn to go into the spot I wanted to go. I knew where I wanted to be in that spot. The other two boats were over like to the left, and I got excited. I said, "Oh, nobody's in my spot." We literally pulled into the spot on plane, dropped my boat off plane, dropped the trolling motor. I ran to the back, put my rig in the water, bump, bam, fish on. Within 5 minutes of coming off of plane, I had my first fish in the live well.
Yeah.
And the other guys are just watching me like, what just happened here?
Now, Phil, how did y'all decide that, and I don't need secrets or nothing, but you said there was other boats in the area, and they went to the left, to go. What were you thinking? I mean, did you see something on pre-fishing? Did you see something on the maps you were studying?
Yeah, pre-fishing.
All of it?
Pre-fishing, I found those fish. They were tucked between two big humps, a pretty small area. Found those fish pre-fishing, and I was hoping nobody else had found those fish.
Yeah. And how important, I think everybody that's fished for a while, how important is like 20 yards to the left, 20 yards to the right?
Oh, it makes a huge difference. It was a huge difference. I was bumping baits into a spot, probably the fish were tucked in a spot probably the size of my living room.
Yeah.
And
I think the first fish was technically back bounced. I think we were spot locked for the first one.
They were. We caught all but one of the fish back bouncing.
Yeah. Because it was behind one specific hump. It was right there.
Yep.
Why tell you say that thing?
Nate, Danny, we couldn't have done it without him. Danny was insanely helpful to the process. He made damn sure that our line stayed in the water 100% with all the breaking off and things like that. And Danny was a tremendous help.
And did y'all do a lot of planning before that? Well, I'm gonna throw it out. Like Dan and Stan 3, you talk about a team. They know they can look. I'm sure the same thing that you and that Jeremy, you and Andrew have. And I'm kind of, they allow me to do some things when I'm out there, but that's just, I want to have bait ready, and whatever I see they're not doing, I try to jump up. But how important do you think that is, not only for tournaments, not only for a guide service, especially, when they pull up to a spot, the bait's cut, the rods are ready. That's what a team working together. Did y'all plan that out ahead of time and say, okay, look, I'm going to be driving, you're doing this, or did it just y'all know each other?
Very much.
Yeah, very much. We planned that out ahead of time.
Planned it out, yeah. And that's, if you get buddies that you're fishing with together, and then you're getting kind of, hey, you know what? I'll do this part of it. I'll cut the bait. You get this.
Yeah.
And with me and Jeremy have done it so many times together. We're kind of second nature with it.
Yeah.
But we talked to Danny, and Danny, to his credit, is just absolutely, what's the words, like no ego, team first, no matter what, which like any of our pro staff are. But so we just talked to Danny, and Danny just weaved right into how me and Jeremy fish, and just like literally I broke off my weight, like my weight's broke. Danny immediately, I turned around, he handed me a rod, baited, waited, ready to go, took my rod, I dropped my weight. I was out the water for 5-10 seconds.
Yeah, because the thing is, because of the long run, we only had a short amount of time in that spot to catch our fish. So literally every minute really made a big impact of baits being in the water.
Absolutely. And, some of the biggest things I've learned was watching tournaments and watching tournament anglers. Who was the one? Was it Double C? Double C from Tennessee River.
Yeah.
Chris Parker. When he came in and did some of Dan's tournaments, and we started getting some professional angling. And you could, I think a lot of us YouTube anglers are awesome, but you see tournament anglers that are used to that, and you're like, oh, look at that. Yeah, he's got something. Oh, that one's already, he had another rig, he had another pole ready to go. As soon as the fish came in, bam, fish is off, rods back out. Then it's the best handling of the fish. How important is that kind of stuff with what y'all did this weekend?
It's extremely important. It's
Now-
extremely important.
To Mike's question, no, the water was definitely a lot more available free space by Sunday.
Yeah.
We did change game plan from day 1 to day 2. We had, oh, here he goes. We had our reasons for it, and we stick to our reasons. Obviously, we didn't catch as good a fish day 2, but we changed up. A lot of teams changed up because the conditions changed. There was a little more rise in the river. There was a little more post front. Things changed. But there was definitely, we just didn't see boats. Day 1, the whole run down river, like every mile, you saw boats on the edge. They were everywhere.
No, that's not tank.
Yeah. Well, Jeremy
I can't
got
read
knocked
chat,
out.
just so-
Yeah, I got it. I'll show something else here. Let's see. I'll show this one for Randy. What's going on here?
This was the second day drawing of the raffle where we were trying to raise money for the young boy's family that had passed away in the swimming pool. And this young lady, I asked 4 kids around her to come up on stage, and they all said no. And when I asked her, she turned and looked at her mom, and her mom said, "Yeah, go ahead." She come up there with me. She was scared to death. And her brother had got a rod that day, and all her friends had got something, and she hadn't got anything.
Oh,
Well, George from Mississippi River came up, and he won. He gave me like $100 right before the drawing, and so his ticket got drawn out.
They can't figure out.
And when he got drawn out, he said, "Give it to some kid." And I asked her, I said, "Have you won anything this weekend?" She said, she wouldn't even talk. She just shook her head, and I said, "You just won a rod real combo." And so that was absolutely the best part of my whole weekend.
and I
Give that away.
Tank, I'm not sure, but that video clip that's on the Facebook page, I believe, right?
It's in a few places. I know for sure it's on your saltwater guide, because that's where I keep going for it. If V's in chat, she can probably say all the places all these are, because I just kind of have lost track.
Yeah, if you go to the Mississippi River Monsters Facebook page, it's all on there, and you can actually hear like all the audio, all the music, and everything really well if you watch it on theirs. I know that.
And you mentioned the Saltwater Guide channel. Big shout out to him for becoming involved with River Cats Tackle, and us on the same token being involved over there. Big shout out to him. Things are just going and growing, we'll say. And so big shout out to him. Check out that channel, does the live. Pretty much, he's probably broke my record. I'll give him that. So
Let's see. The next one, shoot, there's so much to talk about. All right, the next one, John, I have a clip here. I'll show it if you want to tell us what we're about to see of you giving a jersey to a young man.
What? Okay, after that, I'm gonna let you know who this fella is sitting on the side of me. So let's go ahead and run there.
hey, just tell him.
I said who he was at the start of the show. Are you trying to make fun of me?
Huh?
No.
I said who he was at the start of the show.
No. Everybody in the chat's trying to figure out who he is. I was just gonna let everybody know that he was the new senior vice president.
All you said was his name. You did not explain who he was.
Tell
Well,
him Creech sent you.
well, I'm sorry.
Hey,
All right,
okay.
go ahead.
What are we looking at?
Well, I was going to show the video of you giving that jersey to the young man. If you wanted to say what we're about to see.
That'd be the first time I got to see it.
Oh well, I'll show it first, and then you'll talk about it.
Hey, it doesn't matter.
No.
I haven't seen it either.
What's up, Greg Burgess?
Look at this young man.
going on here, John?
Somebody brought it to my attention that the little fella was really excited about looking at the fish in the tank, and wanted to know if it was any way possible we could make his day a whole lot better. So we decided to give him a River Cast Tackle jersey, and that's what we done. And then I don't know if they got a video of it or not, but after that they came back by the booth, so we topped it all off with a River Cast Tackle hat. When he left, he had both.
Yeah, I'd have to find it. I don't know.
I don't know where it's at either. That was the first time I got to see that video.
He kept throwing a thumbs up, and he wouldn't throw up a real big thumbs up, but he kept throwing up a little bitty thumbs up.
Yeah.
John, I don't know who you made happier there, the kid or his dad. If that was his dad that was with him, whoever that was with him, I think you made that adult just as happy or more happy than you make the kid. So big shout out for that.
Which, yeah, Chris is right. You see the video, John is always doing things for people, and we got to convince him to actually, let us tell people about it, because he gets all shy and embarrassed about him being a good person.
Yeah, definitely.
He definitely took care of it, made a whole lot of people smile.
Look, he's looking at us right now being like, would y'all be quiet? Move on. John, why don't you tell us about that young little gentleman sitting next to you then, since apparently I did a horrible job at it.
What, this fellow on the side of me?
Yeah.
No, the other
Yeah,
one.
who's that guy?
Y'all talking about that fellow?
Yeah, this dude over here. Who's this?
I told y'all, that's Michael Creech. He's the new,
I told you to
he's the
tell him
new
Creech
senior
sent
vice
you.
president.
Hey,
Senior vice president of what?
Yeah, tell them Creed sent you.
Tell him Creech sent you. That's all
Yep.
you gotta do.
You know what, Creech? I tried that with the Chinese restaurant last night. I'm still waiting for my food, so I don't know.
Oh, see?
I don't-
See?
Oh,
Could have saved your life.
Hey, you talking about that? But Randy did that in the barbecue shop.
Yep. And the guy looked at me like, "Who is Creech?" And he tell him I said thank you.
Anytime, Randy.
That's right. There you go.
What you got to say, Creech?
Oh, no,
Because Creech wanted to be there so bad.
I actually forgot they was doing the show tonight. Me and Cindy was at the house under the carport messing around, and says, "Let's go to John and Stephanie's." Yeah, let's go. Called John. "Hey, y'all home?" "Yeah." I said, "All right, what's your address? We're coming." So here we are.
There you
But
go.
I was just listening to Creole and you talk, about the tournament. And I fished a bunch of tournaments. One thing I do want to say, I don't think a lot of people understand, and not everybody's capable of doing it. I'm not, but dealing with stress of the tournament, I don't handle pressure well. Even when I take people fishing with me, I feel like if we're not putting fish in the boat, I have failed.
Right.
So everybody
Mhm.
handles stress and just the pressure of the situation different. But I think if you just go out and have it in your mind that I'm gonna go have fun, don't matter if we catch fish or not, and it definitely makes a more enjoyable trip. But and being versatile on the river, I'm guilty of it because I have a way that I like to fish. I fish that way all the time, and I feel like if I'm not catching fish that certain way, the weather just not biting, And I think that just knowing different techniques and what the river's doing and how to approach that situation at that given time, I feel like that makes a big difference in your success.
Yep.
But I feel like the guys did a great job this year. I'm proud for them, even though I wasn't there to be able to root for them. I was cheering on from the rig, and I had my better half there, with the guys at the booth. And just wish I could have been there for y'all. And but I'm proud of y'all. It's not always about first place. It's about showing up and having a good time and just letting people know who we are. Like John and the guys with that jersey for that young man. That ain't nothing for us. That's who we are. And I feel like everybody that's involved with River Cast Tackle all kind of have the same mindset and outlook on just fishing in general and, you know, being good people. I feel like that shines, you know, every time the River Cats tackle crews around. So
I agree.
that's all I wanted to say.
Amen.
Hey,
Where's that?
how much money ended up being given to that family? Do you have any idea?
So, yeah, I mean, that's something else that I guess I should talk about. And I've told a lot of people in the group, you know, how much I appreciate it. For the ones that don't know, it wasn't there. It wasn't really publicized, the situation that happened. But one of my coworkers, we was out on the rig, and of course we had to send an emergency flight out for him. His 2-year-old son was found floating in the pool by his wife. They rushed him to the hospital and did everything that they could. You know, there was no response. He was held on life support for a little over a week. So I got with the safety committee at the rig and got with John and the guys with River Cats Tackle, see if we could raise a little bit of money, you know, to go to that family. When it was all said and done, I think it was a little over $700 was raised on raffle tickets, and I don't know, maybe $300 or $400 through PayPal. I don't have a firm number because that PayPal was scattered everywhere. You know, there was people from everywhere putting money in it. But the best they could figure, you know, River Cats Tackle raised somewhere between $900 and $1,500 for that family.
Wow.
But
Wow.
yeah, like I say, they ended up keeping that young boy on life support until they could find suitable candidates for his organs. And that speaks a lot about their family, you know.
Yeah.
It's tough enough for somebody to lose a 2-year-old child, but you're going to do that, you know, and let that child live on through someone else. I mean, that's like my wife said, you know, that's probably the most selfless thing she's ever heard of anybody doing.
Yeah.
So, on behalf of me and the rig that I work on, we'd like to extend a great thanks to everyone that pitched in and made it happen. Whether you donated money or just donated your time, you know, we're appreciative.
Absolutely.
You know,
Stan, you okay, buddy?
Yeah.
you can ask Randy. When I got off the phone and explained everything to him, I told Randy, I don't care if we make a dime, but we're going to raise money for that.
Yeah.
And me and Patrick got out there and tried to hustle money all weekend.
Yep.
And we appreciate that too, Randy. Yeah. I mean, I know just thank you for me, that only goes so far. And I know y'all don't even know this family, you know, that you were trying to help. But I don't know. I guess it's really not about, you know, they say when you give, you're not supposed to give publicly, you know.
You give till it feels good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The reason for giving publicly is to inspire others to also give.
Yeah, and
You know-
I don't really like talking about it, you know, because I don't want to feel like that guy that says we did, you know what I mean?
Absolutely.
But
Yeah.
100%, man, y'all pulled through like you always do. And for me, I appreciate it. And I know that family does too, even though they haven't had the opportunity to thank anybody. But I'm going to speak for them.
Yeah.
Hey,
I near and dear to my heart, kids.
You got something in your eyes, Dan?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Y'all know me.
Alrighty.
Y'all know me.
he got a piece of dirt in his eye
Yeah, it happens.
from that big
Yeah.
blunt he was smoking.
Them allergies, I tell you.
Nah, when it comes to kids, you know, there's
Yeah, I understand, Stan.
Yeah, the
damn
pro
it.
staff knows I spent 8 years working on an ambulance. I've seen that situation from the wrong sides.
Hey,
Yeah.
man. Hey, I need somebody to do me a favor, though.
What'd you need?
We got somebody that wants to come up here and join the show, but I got an issue.
Uh-oh. Just tell him Creech sent you.
Yeah.
It always works.
Yeah, but that ain't work because it requires electronic stuff. Y'all want me to help with it? Y'all want me to do it or what?
Hey, Creech, this is going farther than you think it's going to go. That's going to be the new, that's going
We
out
gotta
there.
find somebody to make
No.
bumper stickers, man.
That's right.
Get some shirts and
Oh,
caps
he
made that
said
say that.
bumper stickers.
Hey, somebody send Tim Scott.
I got it.
You
I
got
think
it?
I got it. Yeah, I got it.
Well, while we're waiting for Stan, I've got one more YouTube clip to show. Now, this is day 2 us coming in. You'll hear a song playing, and I'll tell you the story of the song. When we left Vicksburg last year, me and Jeremy spent the entire 3-hour ride home playing songs, deciding if we ever make day 2, what will be our entrance music. Because on day 2, you get to choose your song.
Yeah, because I
We
was
got to-
determined last year. I said we're gonna make day 2 next year.
We got to play our song.
Yeah, we did.
But
If-
this is
If the
this
audio
is us
plays.
coming in day 2. The audio is not the greatest, but we'll talk about it after. What we got going on here?
I can't hear any audio.
No.
Nope.
What'd you do, bro?
I couldn't
Hey,
hear any. I couldn't hear the audio on the other clips.
Maybe.
Really?
I couldn't hear audio on any of them.
you got it muted.
Is right. This is when Captain Dave played our 30-second commercial as we were coming in. We'll just let it ride.
You need bigger speakers because I can't hear it.
Yeah, for those that can't hear the audio, Guns N' Roses is playing in the background on that. Yep, no audio.
Are we going to have to get Morgan Freeman to start narrating these videos?
I guess so.
No audio. Wait, the last few played audio. I have the volume up.
Not for us, they didn't. For you, they did, not us.
No idea why I get played.
No, you're not. We all heard that fault.
Well, you know what? That's what you get for now.
So what Guns N' Roses song was it?
Welcome to the jungle.
I think it was Welcome to the Jungle, if I remember right.
Yeah, it was.
That was the one.
Yeah.
Y'all could have told me that the first time I played something without sound.
Hey,
No, the first time it played. First time we had sound.
But that was Guns N' Roses' Welcome to the Jungle that we chose a year ago.
look, anytime you're dealing with us, it's gonna be a jungle.
Oh yeah.
Hey, there was a lot of thought. So, Jeremy, day 2. Day 2. What are the thoughts? What are the meanings? What we got going on here?
Day 2 was a little different because in day 2 you can't leave the ramp till 5 a.m. instead of 3. So that kind of took the option of the long run off the table. And we discussed it for a while and we decided, well, look, we've fished around Vicksburg and the surrounding area enough. We felt confident that we could find some fish somewhere around the area and still do well. Well, we ended up not finding any fish. I mean, I found 2 fish, 2 little fish. That's the ones we brought, but just couldn't find any fish day 2. I mean, we stuck to the plan. We went to all the places that we talked about where there should be fish, and there was just no fish there. A couple of teams didn't weigh anything. You know, at least we brought 2 fish to the weigh-in. The day 2 was hard on everybody, judging by the weights that everybody brought in to come in. I mean, shoot, 113 won the whole tournament. I would have never thought that. I thought it'd have been 150, 160 pounds. You know, day 2 was really, really tough.
If it tells you how rough the fishing was, we didn't have much in weight, but we were only 20 pounds behind Chris Souders.
Yeah. Yep, ain't no kidding. He had one more fish than we did. That's about it.
Yeah.
And
That's
the
like we
team,
were
the
talking.
team with Ray Ferguson and the Fountains were in 10th place, and they only had 40, 50, 60 pounds.
Yeah.
It honestly wasn't much.
75 or 76.
It is 70-something pounds.
Yeah.
76 was first day.
Yep.
Like, that's low weights for that tournament. For that, it
Well,
was just a hard day.
Well, we interviewed what's the boy here in Tennessee? What's his name? Yeah, Micah. We interviewed Micah Wednesday night, and he said they didn't ever think they were concerned about making the cut with 104 pounds Saturday.
Yeah.
And he said, we didn't think that there was any way that we were going to win it with 115 pounds or so.
Right.
They were nervous up until the last guy got up on stage.
Yep.
and there was a camera looking down into the live well, and it was on the big screen back over in the corner. And Micah said he could look over there, and he told the boys, he told the other two, he said at that time, he said, I think we got it.
Yep.
We're good.
I think he said Spencer told him thanks for ruining the surprise.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
But yeah, it was. I congratulate anybody who weighed 3 fish on a day of fishing like that.
I mean, it touches.
But it was the same last year. Big weather system came in. The fish moved. We were post front day 2. Same situation as last year.
But you still got out there and you done the absolute best, and you rocked it, and we're proud of you.
Absolutely.
Hey, and day 2, the fish were caught on a J&S Signature Series with an Ancient Mariner Gem Series blue reel. It was a blue one, Randy. Pulled into the little flathead.
Yep.
And Jeremy knows how excited I was. I caught the little blue on an Ancient Mariner Torrey Evil Eye with the jigger.
I have never in my life seen him move that fast as when that little rod went over, because we were suspending with that rod, and you know how it is. Those suspended hits are hard as it is. That little rod folded over, and I seen him run to the back before I even knew what was happening.
Ask Jeremy about it right now. Jeremy.
Mm.
He wants to know about that bumping rod with that Ocean Tycoon.
Oh, that's a relevant question.
Okay, there's a couple things with that bumping rod. Is my custom one got left at the house. Okay, that's how good that rod is, and to be able to back bounce down that big ledge in that fast current the way I did and feel everything. But the real story of the sensitivity was on day 2. We were suspending behind that big bridge pillar, and I had broke the weight off my rig, and all I had was the bumping rig with no sinker dropper and a big slicker head on it. So I said, you know what? Watch this. I casted that big head out in the current, and I let it pull about 100 yards of line out. And that rod was sensitive enough to free line bump that big slicker head in 50 feet of water, 100 yards out the back of the boat. I could feel when that piece of bait would hit the bottom, but no weight, no nothing. I mean, you tell me another rod that's sensitive enough to feel just a piece of bait with no weight on it. That thing was incredible.
Well, me and Danny were sitting there clinched up ready. We're like, oh, you're free. Like you're going to get some hit on. We were so ready.
I was waiting. I said, something's going to hit that big piece of bait walking it around. I walked it around for an hour back there trying to get something to hit it. Just wouldn't do it.
But yeah, that rod, and we were not, I don't think I'm not giving names now. We were not the only team using the new Ancient Mariner bumping rod at the tournament.
No.
There was other teams that switched that weekend.
Yeah, those bumping rods won money at the tournament. That's all I'm going to say.
Everybody, be quiet. Be quiet. Shh.
Wow.
Shh. Shh.
What do we got?
So what do we
He's
have?
here.
I have never been on a Facebook Live. I guess it's going to be today.
It's Facebook and YouTube at the same time.
Is it really? That's
This is Tim used to stream. This is Restream.
it's Restream, huh?
Yeah, it's a little bit less expensive than StreamYard since they tried to bend us over with the StreamYard costs. So
Oh, did they?
yeah.
So what we're doing, Tim, we're just finishing up talking about the tournament. Because when you're here, I want to focus on you. So we'll let Jeremy finish up talking about the tournament a little bit. Maybe you have questions for him.
Sure.
They-
And
I'm
basically, top of the hour, we're going to kind of hand the show over to we can let Epic do some talking and teaching.
How's
that sound?
Okay, y'all can roll. I'm good.
Oh.
Well, I want you to finish talking about that bumping rod and the bumping rod, the gear. Give us a little RCT commercial while we're here. This is an RCT show.
I mean, honestly, between the 2 days, we used every single piece of gear that we own. We used the bumping rods a lot the first day. We got to use the new J&S rods the second day. Got to use the new Gym Series reels. We got to use the jigger reels. We got to use the slow pitch rods. Literally every single piece of gear I had in the boat with me got used in some way or another. And day 2 was a lot of scratching our heads, trying to figure out how to put baits in front of fish. And that's where the versatility of all the equipment came in. We had a combo that you can use for everything. And we probably used every tactic we could think of to try to put a few fish in the boat.
I think we did everything but pull boards.
That's the only thing we
Because
didn't do is drag.
Me and Jeremy looked and said we probably should, but we're not quite practiced enough. Let's go try to suspend.
Right. I wasn't very confident in the one spot I could drag boards.
Do it. You need to get in touch with Dan and Stan, though.
I guarantee you, if one of you that really knows how to drag was with us, we'd have been like, let's go.
Yeah.
They do that every day.
All right. So any last minute, we're going to finish up the first hour, I guess. We'll wrap up Vicksburg. And then we're going to move on to the future things, and we'll talk to Tim Scott. Any last questions or comments?
Did we do the clip? I don't know. I was in and out. Was there the clip where the boat was getting towed in, and everybody's going wild, and we're throwing shirts out into the? Was that clip played?
Oh yeah.
Yes.
Anybody that was like back in the day when that was like a dream as a kid, right? Like you see that when BASS tournaments first started, and they're shooting the T-shirts out there.
Yep.
Like, come on, what kid didn't have that? If you watched Bill Dance and all those, you had that as a kid.
I know. Jeremy had a dream of standing on the deck of the boat with "Welcome to the Jungle" playing and throwing stuff out to the crowd, and he got to do it.
Yes.
How cool!
I realized the dream.
Like, he's done. He can stop fishing. He's done.
That's it. I'm done. It's over.
Real quick, the next couple things coming up for RCT. We will be as a team, the booth, and several RCT teams in Memphis, September 13th. We'll be talking about that more upcoming. Creech, quit laughing at me.
Tell Creech you'll be all right.
We're going to try to talk about the WOTS tournament, the jugging tournaments coming up at the end of this month, plus RCT YouTube channel, Facebook page. So we're going to squeeze all that in.
But
anything else on Vicksburg?
Yeah, I'm good.
I think we have a guest that kind of superseded it. Okay.
Oh yeah. Wait. One more guest.
Oh, we got sunshine in your eyes, sweetheart.
Danny, since you made it,
Hello, the freaking neighborhood.
we were just wrapping up our thoughts on Vicksburg. What were your thoughts on Vicksburg? What's going on?
Well, before or after?
Oh, we kind of went through the whole thing already, but so just kind of give us your summary.
Dude, it was the most exciting thing. I was so pumped up that I couldn't hardly sleep anyway. And I wish I could have, because after we got there, we realized we weren't getting any sleep. So, it was the most exhausting, grueling, hard work I've ever done fishing. And I would do it again tomorrow. Because I tell you what, fishing with Jeremy and Andrew was an absolute dream. Fishing in areas that they normally fish in,
I've been wanting to do that bar none. Forget the tournament. I was wanting to do that anyway. So, I got to fish in the tournament and got to go down there and fish. Wait a minute. We talked about this. I'm actually the second person to fish on Jeremy's new boat. The first one, and this is hard pill for me to swallow, was J-Dog.
Oh my lord!
That's right.
Crap, I gotta call J-Dog.
And that's a hard pill to swallow, buddy. I'm telling you. But no, I had an absolute blast. Man, they could call me up tomorrow and say we're doing it again, and I'd pack my bags and be on my way. I'm telling you.
Yeah.
Hey, Danny.
Yeah.
Danny Stone.
What?
Look who's sitting beside me.
Who's sitting beside you?
Wait, let me make John bigger. He can
I
see.
can't see.
You don't know who I am.
Oh, what's
Just
up,
tell
buddy? Hey, look who's sitting beside me.
Yeah.
Man, we both pulled a slick one tonight, didn't we?
Yeah, you did.
Hey, look who's sitting beside. Oh man.
Hey, but me and Big
Nobody.
John, we brought some extra quality to the show tonight. Some people that are rarely seen. They're like the
Yeah,
unicorns
buddy.
of the RCT community.
The unicorn.
Well,
Hey, Danny, we brought out the big guns tonight, don't we?
Do what?
I said we brought out the big guns tonight.
Absolutely. He's already kicked my butt, but man, we anchored up on it. We marked a big, huge mark earlier today. And it was just one fish all by itself. And we carpet bombed the crap out of him. We threw every rod we had toward that fish. And one of my lines went slack and come toward the boat, and I reeled down. And when I caught up with him, he liked to jerk the rod out of my hand. But the bait had moved around and double hooked into it, and so he just spit it out. And I'm like,
That
was
happens
the
when
one
you catch
shot of the
logs.
Freaking monster, man. I'm like, oh my God. We threw back on him a few more times, but it was like a no-go. It ain't happening. And we moved down here. Richard just caught a little while ago. He got was it 11 pounds?
Uh-oh.
Man.
Uh-oh. Losing the
is that my hearing aids, or did we lose them? I'm not sure.
I'm not sure.
That's my fault.
Well,
We-
Tim,
we'll
you
answer-
saw. Go ahead.
I'll let Jeremy answer that question. It's a two-part answer.
Yes.
One part, a lot of people know. The second part, I said I was going to convince John to do some type of little giveaway if somebody knew the second part, but we'll talk about that later.
The jersey that Danny is wearing, those are actually our tournament jerseys that we had custom made just to fish the Vicksburg tournament. The puzzle pieces on one side, that stands for autism awareness.
Don't say the second part, because I might do a giveaway on it if somebody
Right.
actually recognizes it.
So now the other half, the two colors, they have a meaning as well. But I'm not going to say what the meaning of those colors are, but it does stand for something. So that we'll get to that later on.
We'll see. We'll see if you or John do a little bait towel, a little giveaway, if somebody can name it later.
There you go.
But we'll get to it.
I'd have to check my stock on my big towels. I don't know how many I have left. We threw a lot of them out.
You and Becky got excited and threw out
Yeah,
most
we
of
did.
your bait towels.
Hey, first time doing it, you got to go big, right, Creel? You go big or go home.
What happened?
And you know what? Wait till next. Go ahead, brother. I'm sorry.
The music had me pumped up. I was throwing stuff out everywhere. I was
Crap. Wait till next year. We're throwing out triple time. We're throwing out 12.2 times more than that next.
There you go.
We big time next year.
Yep.
I'm ready.
All right. Yeah, we got several in-person thank yous and compliments for the jersey.
Yeah.
So we decided right there that at least this section of the jersey, we're gonna have something about that every year, because we kind of have to at this point.
That's gonna be a permanent fixture from here on out.
That's awesome, dudes.
All right.
Yeah. Next time it'd be something different.
Yeah.
Ooh.
All right. Are we ready to? What's up?
Not quite. Before we let Epic get started, Michael Creek is fixing to roll on. He's got a 3-hour ride. So
yeah.
Oof.
Okay, let me get him a little bigger.
Thank y'all for having us tonight. We're going to make a little road trip. Hope y'all have a good evening.
Awesome. Thank you, Creech.
All right.
Good seeing you, Creech.
I'll
He
be
just-
back in a minute. I ain't going
Did he-
nowhere. I'm
Did he just like roll out epically?
Be careful, Creech.
He's so cool.
Hey, just remember, you get in a spot, just tell him Creech sent you or Creech told you to do it, and it'll be okay. It'll work out.
All right. So, we had a lot to talk about, but anytime Tim Scott comes up, I will give him precedence.
Yes.
So
That's a rule
I'm
I've
going
always
to
gone
give
by.
him
So.
a bigger screen. We're going to transition to however long it takes, I guess, because it usually goes that way.
Matter of fact, I don't believe I've ever been on a live and said so little this long. Oh, wow.
I've officially told
Well-
Tim Scott to be quiet for about 10 minutes straight, and I feel horrible about it.
You'll make up for it, Tim.
How dare you?
Tim, I can hold you up for 30 more seconds. Creel, you remember Bank to Vote when
Oh
we
my God.
first brought out the Professor Catfish
I remember
series?
that.
Well, for anybody that was back there, we didn't know if that was going to be 30 minutes, an hour, 2 hours, 4 hours. 6 hours later, Tim's still talking. We're looking at maps and trying to pull up Navionics. So you never know what happens. You never know what happens. But Tim, we're honored, and we thank you for being part of this great family. And the floor is yours, my friend.
I'd like to tell you how proud I am of you guys that have
Aw.
taken things that were like really good, well on track, and you have really taken things to heart and learned catfish behavior and biology through my long talks or whatever, and on your own, and really put that to work. And I'm telling you, there couldn't be a bunch of better catfish ambassadors for people that are learning than guys like you, because you guys don't say, this is always how it is, it's always this. I don't hear any fairy tales out of you guys. You're always like, keep your mind open. What you want to fish for is you can tailor your program to what you want to fish for. I think it's fantastic. That was my corporate speech, so I'm done with that.
Tim, can I give you one thing? Thank you for people like you
You're in there.
that have cut us. We didn't have to go through those. We did. We did go through our hard times too. But you gave us a starting point where we were already here, where a lot of people are got to go from down here. So we took it from here, and it was easy to go to that. So thank you to you and all the people like you that have built and had those ideas that were maybe controversy back in the day. But
Yeah. Well, look at Richard right there.
absolutely, much
Richard
love.
was a bank fisherman, all wild-eyed. Him and his wife, I met him at CatCon. He's like, man, I watch every one of your videos, stuff, you know. And I was just like, okay, Richard, this is what you need to do, blah, 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 blah. So I filled him on what he needed. Dude, he like a duck to water. I almost never heard from him after that. And pretty soon I see him on a boat catching big fish. It's awesome.
I appreciate
Like
all the
watching your
advice,
kids
buddy.
grow up.
Yep.
And let me take a minute to talk about Danny Stone. I met him at CatCon the first time. I didn't really even have a chance to know who he was yet because he was kind of new and I was kind of busy. And I met Danny Stone that morning at CatCon, and I don't know if I even got 3 words in because Danny was like this. He was like, he was just machine gunning me. And I was like, I loved it though. I did. He was so excited. He's like, man, I got a question for Creel. Is that an African gray parrot?
No, that is a Quaker parrot. You're close.
Oh.
Okay.
Quaker
Now,
parrot.
is that from the continent of Africa or South America?
I
Okay.
have no idea.
Well,
His name's Murphy.
As a big fan of pirates, I'm thinking that I need a parrot, but yeah, probably not. That's a pretty well behaved parrot.
I thought you were about to tell us how it makes good live bait.
Yeah, I know. I was waiting for that.
That was really my first thought, but I couldn't.
That would be an expensive piece of bait.
Hold it. There was a day when I would pull up to the sandstone ledges and kind of peel out baby birds, because I noticed they were dropping out of there pretty good. They were dropping out pretty good. The channel cats were eating, the giant channel cats were eating right off the surface of the water. So I had to try.
Tim, I ain't gonna lie. I ain't gonna lie. My dad did that with this little pond. Yeah, I ain't gonna lie.
He said he went match the hatch and he just upsized it a little bit.
That's right.
Yes.
Field mice, baby field mice, another great one.
Absolutely. Field mice, moles, voles.
For anything. That's just not catfish. That's any predator, the biggest fish in the waters will hit those before anything.
Somebody
else.
go look up videos of largemouth bass and muskie hitting baby ducks on top water.
Absolutely.
They eat all that stuff. And catfish do too, but it's less dynamic, if you get what I mean. Most of the time when you see it, they just get sucked from underneath. There's not a big splash, and they just get sucked from underneath, and all of a sudden they're gone. And one of the times that I noticed that the most is I was fishing below Shelbyville Dam, which is in mid-Illinois. It's a smaller Corps of Engineer lake. I mean, the lake's kind of big, but I was fishing up there, right as tight as I could to the sign, of course, in a 2-man bass boat with a frickin' little trolling motor on it. But anyways, there were some people on shore using worms, and both gates weren't open. So I had one gate coming this way, and the other gate was closed. So it was doing this big swirl effect, and they were on this side, and they were using worms and bobbers and catching yellow bass about that big. And they were throwing them all back, but a lot of them gut hooked. And so there's this massive swirl, freshly put back, but not doing too well yellow bass. And I'm fishing in 35 foot of water, and I look, and instead of 30, now there's 20. And I look again, and now there's 10. And I knew they weren't recovering, and they weren't slipping past me. So I was like, okay. So I told my wife, get yellow bass right now. She had the dink, the bait rods. Caught a yellow bass. I hooked that thing up, put it on a slip float about that far underneath the water, threw it out there into the big swirling mass, and sure as anything, I ended up catching a 23-pound channel cat they were sucking those things down.
Yeah. Absolutely.
Apparently, V's been counting the baby ducks disappearing in our flathead spot.
The
circle of life, V.
Now, Tim, what is the difference between, you see a lot of videos out there now, and they try to compare they think it's a Wells catfish, and they try to say, in America. What's the difference? I mean, you see the Wells catfish is shaped sort of in the head, the mouth, it's got the underbite, and it's got the scoop like a flathead. But man, you see them doing that with buzzbaits. You see them doing that. One of the biggest fish I've ever had on here in the James River was on a ball of night crawlers. I had about 12 of them on there on one big hook and floated it down the thing. What's the big difference between Wells and flathead? Wells will hit, don't they predominantly fish for Wells with a lot of lures and noise instruments? Do they react differently to the noise than the fish here, or how does that work?
Now, if there's any Brits watching this is not meant derogatory, but we all know how Brits are. The British love to do things their way, okay? They love the ball of night crawlers. They love the pack baits. They love the little alarms and the tents, and they love to make a big production out of it. If I was to go to Europe and use 12-inch carp or 16-inch carp, just like I do here, it would be awesome for giant Wells cats. That's what they are designed to do, is eat the kind of fish that they have over there. Now, the difference between the flathead, it's in the Oliveris family, and the Wells cat is in the Silurus family. So they have a totally different body structure, but yet the niche is basically the same. So any fish that has an underbite is very skilled at eating live prey. So although They will all eat dead baits and worms and things like that. But the big difference is the silurus, which is the only large catfish that they have over there. So that thing either beat all of its competition 1.5 million years ago, or there just wasn't any. You know, and there are a few other fish over there that sort of well, actually, no, that was still during Pangea, and we won't go that far. But when Pangea was involved, there is other fish that evolved very similar to flathead catfish when Australia was actually attached to the entire supercontinent. But that we don't need to know about. What we do need to know about is that the Wells catfish, which a lot of people call it, what? The Wales catfish.
Whales, yeah, whale. Oh, yeah, absolutely.
It is not the Wales catfish. It is called the Wells catfish. Silurus glanus. Okay, so it's in what's called the sheepfish family, and there's about, I'd say, at least 600 members of that family where it has an elongated back end. And now my theory is that at one time they ate a lot of terrestrial animals, because if you have a very extended back end but not a whole lot more power than our fish has, there's only one reason for it, and that's because if you leap out of the water and grab stuff and still have probably 60% of your body or 70% of your body in the water, you can drag that thing back. So at one time, and I heard of a fish a long time ago. It's called the Wallago atu, and it actually has pharyngeal teeth, which pharyngeal teeth mean teeth that stick out. You know, ours don't. They have the pad. So the Wallago atu has been actually recorded doing that to the Nepalese, little tiny Nepalese people that they've got washing their clothes down at the river, you know?
Oh, Lord.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Just jumping out, grabbing them, and ripping them back in the water.
And here goes Tim Scott using actual people
Is that
for
what they
bait
call
next
the
trail.
wolf? Is it a wolf fish? They think is it the wolf fish, Tim? Where it's in South America? There's one. I'm trying to think where there was there's been cases where the girls washing the clothes and stuff on the bank, and they've got so there's a fish over there.
Yes,
Same
that's
thing
what
where
that's what we call it, because none of us can pronounce it. But yes, it is
the wolf fish, right?
And it gets up to about 4.5 feet long.
It's got those teeth like that.
Yep.
Yeah.
No, that's the Pyara. That's the vampire fish. The Pyara. And it doesn't get all that big. 3.5, 4 feet. And yeah, they'll mistake people that are swimming around. I mean, anytime you have a predator fish and you got your little feet, flying around in the water, I mean, they can mistake it. But generally speaking, probably one of the more dangerous fish down there, besides, of course, piranha and kangaroo and all the other stuff that's
the little tiny,
little
tiny catfish that swim up into your.
Yep. And not only that, that's what they're most famous for. What they're less famous for is actually more dangerous, because they will actually grab onto your skin and rotate until they bore a hole and then go inside your flesh from the inside out.
I don't know which is worse.
Exactly. I think I don't know which. No, I just feel extremely lucky that we can swim in our water, even though I did swim in South America, because it was too freaking hot. And I was just like, no, if them giant piranhas want me, I know I'm not bleeding and I'm not moving like a fish,
Tim, at that point, is it like, okay, heat stroke or eaten by piranhas? I've got a better chance not getting eaten by the piranhas. Exactly. I'm swimming in the water. Yeah.
Exactly. And it was clear water. It was a clear water river.
Well,
we actually fished the Xingu. But anyway, all kinds of crazy catfish down there, out of the 2,200 species of catfish in the world, I think more than 3/4 of them are actually in the Amazon River basin. Everything from little tiny weird catfish all the way up to like crazy 6-7 foot long.
Tim, speaking of that, I thought about you the other day, and I have a challenge for you. Can you, and there's context clues here, if I show you a picture, can you name that catfish species?
Most likely, yeah.
Can you name it in one picture?
Channel cat. 100%.
Think closely.
Yeah.
It's not
Is
that
it,
easy.
Is it the hybrid blue channel? Is there dots back there? Is there dots?
What's your final answer, Tim?
Channel cat.
It is a scientifically farm-raised hybrid between a channel and a blue.
Okay. So, but what the attributes? Now hold it. The attributes of that are a lot farther than the F4. So you got the F1, you got the F2, F3, and F4. By the time you get to F5, 6, 7, and 8, you start to lose the attributes of blue cats altogether. Because look, you got a rounded anal fin, you have the flattened head. There is no real hump there. The fin looks a little bit suspect, but by and large, I'm actually right.
And there is, I do see a
Yeah,
couple
it looks
dots.
very channel.
That's probably 80% channel cat,
Yeah.
and it is showing the traits of a channel cat.
Yep.
None.
This is
Well, Tim, what they're saying is that little bump right there in front of the pectoral up on top, those bumps right there, that's supposed to be part of the high fin blue cat.
Channel,
Yeah.
The only reason I'm saying that is I was reading a lot of this the other day. I was reading a lot about it the other day.
At the end of the day, if it looks like a channel cat and it
It's
acts
a
like
damn
a
channel
channel
cat.
it's a damn channel cat. That's right. And male channel cats have that all day long.
what
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
what it is to explain. You can see it here. Me and Jeremy saw this on the way back from Vicksburg. We are on top of an 18-wheeler tanker truck. These are 100% farm raised for food, ponds, different things. There are 25,000 of that size, give or take, fish in that entire tanker.
Nice.
No.
Now
Would they-
listen very carefully. One of the things that they did not like about the F1s and the F2s and the F3, that means you're taking an F stands for caddis, which is the blue cat. All right. So that is a female blue cat egg and inserting the male sperm from a channel. All right. And they've done it both ways. But it's more of the growth rates that they like, not really the individual looks or size. And yes, they are more robust, the F1s, 2s, 3s, and 4s. But the problem was they were a little bit too aggressive, and in the hatchery they'd start eating each other more than channel cat would. So you got the male for caddis 1 with the female channel cat, and then the aggressive traits would start to carry over. So they mixed it. They did it both ways, and it's it's been probably at least 20 years since I've read news reports.
And Creole's got to bounce real quick. He just wanted to wave bye to everybody.
Yep.
He's
Later,
got to feed
guys.
his parents.
Thank y'all. Epic. I will be watching from my recliner in just a second. Appreciate y'all.
Hey, Creole, much love. Congratulations. What a great job. That's only your second tournament, correct?
Yep. That's
first
the
or
second one
second?
I've ever done.
And you've never done any other local, other than YouTube.
No.
Congratulations.
No, I don't do local tournaments, nothing like that. No.
Well, you did RCT proud, going in there, a big tournament like that, all the hoopla, all the everything, going to day 2, just showing up and competing, but then going to day 2, you did us all proud. Thank you. YouTube came in and showed out. I mean, us online anglers, y'all did a great, and then RCT on top of it. So much love, brother. Thank you for what you do.
Thank y'all. I will see y'all later.
All right. Sorry, Tim. Back to you.
See you, buddy. I mean, that's all right. I mean, I'm finally going to be able to go fish the waters I want to go fish starting day 1. So Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, I go on my first giant catfish adventure. We had went to Keokuk, but that doesn't really count. Keokuk is that farthest most point you could expect to find blues, but it's not a monster hunt up there. It's kind of a numbers game. So I am going to go down there, even though the water is still fairly high. And that migration hasn't really took full effect, but I really don't have a choice because I take that friend of mine that I've known for, I don't know, 30 years. Let's see, 20, 30, 40. Yeah, about 30 years. And I kind of coached him along the way, and he's been crazy about catfish. He's not on social media. Everyone, and he fishes the Ohio, and he goes after it hard. But every PB he's ever had come out of my boat. So he's and that's only fishing one trip each year.
Tim, can I bring something up with that? We were talking about that earlier. Like,
yeah,
we're talking to a person there with you that has devoted your life. You know, we've talked a lot about. I've always liked catching big fish, but it's been wherever I was at. So it was, you know, pike or trout or this or that, and we know Brother James will catching big catch. And when you bring somebody out new, or not even new, but just you bring people out. And you've caught monsters. I know your drive. I know you're, you know, we joke around with Jeremy about having that bus driver, that mentality of, I've got to get the fish.
Yes.
What is more important to you? Like, what do you feel more satisfaction with? Do you feel when, like, I've seen when you and Catfish Heroes are together and you get, like, it's just, you can see the joy, you can see everything, but we don't see a lot of you with, other people that you've brought out, and you know, you were just talking about that, how cool it was putting other people on their big. What do you get more yourself, as epic as you are? We know how important catching big fish is.
Yeah, it's not.
How
it's
does
not
that compare to you,
dude? I'm telling you, it's not that important for me to catch big fish. I do enjoy it
now.
I really, yeah. But I really, you know, because to me, just knowing where the big fish are, being able to put the boat on it, being able to mark them, get the distance, put the rod. It's even if somebody else in my boat catches 100, I still feel pretty responsible for it. So I mean, it's kind of both ways. I'm very happy for them, but I you know, the captain runs the show. At least he does in my boat, because I take no advice from the peanut gallery at all. Whatever peanut gallery I've got, I'm like, I'll take a little bit, but most of the time I am center focused. You know, this is like tactical precision. And you know,
if I was in your boat, I wouldn't say a word either.
Okay. You know what I think we should do, Tim?
It's like,
we would just give you the look, like,
let's go try over there, Tim. I don't like what you're doing.
Oh my gosh, my sons used to do that to me. They're like, Dad, how come we're not fishing over there? I said, "Cause son, I've been over there, and it sucks. There is no big fish over there."
Learning experience.
I said, it sucks. I said, we're fishing here, you know, and they would only say that when the fight was just a little bit tough, like when we hadn't caught a fish in like 15 minutes. You know, and I'm like, okay, so this, yeah, and I literally had to wait till they were men enough to go do what I do. You know, I had to wait till they got some muscles and got to be like 12, 13 years old. Because I'm like, I can't take you. And they'd be like, why? Why can't we go down to, you know, Keokuk or whatever? My youngest son asked me one time. He was like 7 at the time, and Garrett was 12, and he was starting to go to these big waters and catch big fish. Connor looked up at me and he says, Dad, how come I can't go to Keokuk? I said, honestly, I'm not trying to hurt your feelings or anything, but you are definitely not man enough to go yet. I said, if I can still pick you up with one arm and hold you out like this, I said, that's not going to fly. I said,
and Tim, how much is that because you're focusing on what you're doing and having a situation, you know, you've got your younger sons and stuff in the boat. Is that a distraction or
no, at that age they wouldn't have been able to do it. They would not have actually been able to reel a fish in.
I hear you. I understand.
You know, Connor's personal best, we caught, his first personal best was 60 pounds the first time he went. And it was at normal level at Keokuk is normally about 9 to 7 feet. It was 14 feet. The current was crazy. And the pictures, his little face is so red. It looked like somebody, you know, wiped some sort of red ice cream on his face. I mean, he was, and he wasn't no little kid either. I mean, he was pretty brutish for, you know, that age. But I mean, it's just, you know, and what if he gets 100 on, in that kind of
I
water.
gotcha.
There
I
was
understand.
no
I
way.
understand.
But by the time I took him to where he did land 100, he did it so flawlessly.
Yes.
It was so, as a matter of fact, I was kind of disappointed in the fight because he basically led him like I've always talked to them
Boom.
about. He pumped the fish
Boom.
up once, twice, and it was in the freaking boat, 111 pounds. I was like, oh, what?
Hey, Tim, can you, for anybody out there that's caught a big fish, we all joke around, Tim, I give you credit, and we joke around about, the 200 whatever pound. But,
Yeah.
I've said during that a lot of times that it was just funny how we've talked about that before that kind of thing happened. And you were like, one of the biggest things when I had clients out and you were guiding, and they had that big fish, is you had to remain calm.
Yep.
And you knew what you were doing. You told me that you would put your hand on the shoulder.
I would.
Just another fish. Relax. Do the same thing you would
I
normally
wouldn't
do.
say just another fish. What I would tell him is I would say, look, you're already past the danger point. That you just need to calm down a little bit and
There you
take
go.
what the fish gives you. It's going to be big. And the other thing I said, when you see this fish, don't get surprised and pull back on the rod like you got to try to lift 500 pounds. I said, we're going to get this fish in. And I'd say, stay calm. That's the best thing you can do. I said, make sure the reel, and I'd even go ahead of them and make sure the drag was just right and do all that stuff. Because believe it or not, back in those days, I even used lighter stuff than I use now, because it would have been a little hard on my customers because none of them were used to that, the big stuff. And shoot, it takes me every year. I got to get in shape for fishing. It's gonna hurt me for 3 straight days doing what I'm about to do Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday. I'm going to be hurting, and I'm not in bad shape. I'm going to be sore. I'm going to be tired. I'm going to be sunburnt, and I'm still going to work that next day.
Absolutely. So you all hear my words out there. When you get that monster fish on, you get that fish of a lifetime. You just heard how epic, how Tim told you that calmly.
Stingy bastard.
What I do now?
No, Danny's trying to get my drink through the phone.
I know. I thought he said Stan, you bastard, not Tim.
Yeah. I had you muted. I just unmuted you.
I'm just trying to grab a drink. Hey, you guys had me mute the whole time. Okay. You guys I'm going to be real quick here. I'm not like Tim Scott. I don't talk forever.
Yeah, right.
Imagine
You guys got
Danny
the
and I
scientific
all
version. Now, Tim's is more logical. He's scientific with everything he does. But you guys were talking about that blue cat mixing with that channel cat a while ago. I'm telling you, there's the trailer park version of that too. Because you got the daddy blue cat and the mama channel cat. Well, what you don't realize is that daddy blue cat went to work and the mailman channel cat came back by, and then the daddy blue cat's trying to figure out why his kids don't look like him. It's because you had the mailman channel cat came by when the daddy blue cat was at work. It's not that hard to figure out, people. It happens every day.
Yeah, Danny, I just had you muted so you and Richard could talk.
Danny ain't right.
Like that.
Danny ain't right.
Hey, they are scientifically brought together. They can't even mate in a while, I don't think.
No, they don't. They're actually the eggs are taken.
It can't,
Yeah.
right? Like there's no,
And
like
then
is it a
the sperm is
0.0?
taken, they're mixed, and then the perfect pH and the perfect amount of current and the perfect all that happens.
But what I was trying to get to before was, I've caught fish, and I thank God that I've got Dan and Stan 3 and all those people in my life. And without Dan and Stan 3, and without Tim, I could feel it. I could feel his hand on the shoulder. So you get that fish of a lifetime. I want you to just think what Tim just said. Picture his hand on your shoulder, relax.
Yep.
We can do
Yep.
this. Picture that, and it will make you. I swear, I promise you, it'll slow you down. You'll just think about that, and that is what you need when you got that big fish on.
Yeah, and you can overpower a 30 or a 40 or even a 50, sometimes even a 60. But when you're talking fish of that kind of magnitude, there's no overpowering them. So you have to use your brain, and you got to say, okay, I'm going to lead this fish. I'm going to lead this fish in the current. Then I'm going to try to basically trick him to the boat, because otherwise, look out. It's an hour and a half in that crazy current like that. And you're talking, how big was your sturgeon again, Stan?
222.22 pounds. I just added that on just for.
I've caught 100-pound sturgeon, and sturgeon actually evolved in the ocean. There wasn't any of them that actually evolved in fresh water. So, and we all know the power of ocean fish is like, it's like Superman versus like Batman. Okay.
Is that because of oxygen content that can hold more
No,
oxygen?
that's because of the speed of the other fish and the competition. So when you come into nice freshwater, it doesn't have a whole lot of competition. It's and I'm not putting our fish down. Our freshwater fish is awesome. But anything that's saltwater, I mean, shoot, if you used like the tackle that we use in saltwater, you'd get spooled a lot. You really would. You get bit off a lot. You get spooled a lot. You'd be embarrassed a lot. But it's what we have, and we love it.
Yeah. Well.
Yeah, I'm just waiting for chat to actually type out some questions. Stan's just taking up time until I'll actually type your question.
Well, I can't see chat at all.
I can't either, Tim.
I can't see any words, no nothing. So
somebody's gonna have to say chat to us. I'll keep asking Tim questions, and we'll keep talking.
Yeah, I'm watching.
Until somebody puts
V,
something
you
out
haven't
there.
actually asked the question yet.
So, Tim, for people like we've got V, V from Catch Fish with Us, that are just phenomenal. I mean, they're just psychos. They're catfish savages.
Catfish
over
savages,
flatheads. Like what do people do? Like you got that, and what everybody out there has to understand it. And Tim and we've talked about this, and I've had to even respond on some of your when you do a lot of TikTok now, and TikTok are great for what you do. You're able to go in. You don't have any time at all. Period.
Right.
None.
Hardly
You're
any
able
time.
to go in and have your fun, talk to the catfish savages, drop some knowledge, and get out. I know that if you had more time, you love what we do over here.
I
With
do. I absolutely.
The full, and you can talk and blah blah blah.
I literally prefer YouTube 100%. But with my job change and all that, you guys have heard all the damn excuses. With that and the time that I've got time for TikTok, and that's about it. Because I mean, and honestly, I put some things up on YouTube, and they don't get any views anymore because I'm not constantly putting stuff on.
Yep.
Fine, that's how they want to run it. Great.
Tim, how does that person go from that? Oh, you got a question, Hank?
Yep, we got a couple. 21 hunting and fishing. Do catfish more or less live in any river in the United States?
Yes, they do. Matter of fact, if they didn't live there, we usually put them there. Yes. Now, and I wish I had a map that I could throw up here, but the original blue cat, flathead, and channel cat territory was all the way from Canada, all the way into North Dakota on the Missouri, and all of its tributaries, this side of the Rocky Mountains, and then the Appalachian Mountains. It was basically confined to that, all the way down to Louisiana. Okay? There was a few rivers that went a little bit further into the west, but not that far. They weren't connected. Now, blue cats are all over both coasts because the DNR put them there so that we'd have better fishing opportunity. I think it was a great thing, but now all of a sudden they think that the coast of Florida shouldn't have flatheads and
look what we're doing in Virginia and Maryland.
Yeah, they were talking about trying to exterminate them out of the James. That is pure political theater.
Bullshit.
DNR knows exactly that it is impossible to eliminate blue cats now that they've already put them in, or flatheads, or channel cat.
Did you hear what our conservative governor did? He vetoed the bill.
Good.
Was trying to get rid of all that, and he kind of tried to. He's an outdoorsman and yada yada. He's like, this is a bunch of crap, and it's blah blah blah. So good shout out to Governor Youngkin.
Look.
You're moving. I thought you wanted me to unmute you.
Look at them. They're fishing, and they're making a whole bunch of hand signals.
Yep. All right. V asked, here's the question she wanted to get out, so we'll pay very close attention. Barometric pressure fishing with high winds 3 days in a row. How do you fish it? And since it's V, that if there's a flathead specific answer, that's probably what she wants.
If I have to on a flathead specific situation, if I have, and it doesn't matter what wind is coming which way, high pressure, I'm going to fish because high pressure and low pressure affects their swim bladder. And on a flathead, it's about that long. Everybody that's cleaned one knows it's about that long. It has 2 chambers. So it goes in through the mouth next to the esophagus. It has a front chamber, and then it has a narrow spot that has well, I'm not even going to say that. It's got the same thing your butt does. It's got the same thing your butt does.
Sphincter?
It will regulate that air so that the buoyancy is affected. So as soon as you get
Sphincter's a medical term.
Yeah. The bunghole, I guess. So if Danny Stone should have been listening, he'd be laughing right now. But anyway, yeah. Oh, geez, don't even bring that up. Jeepers, creepers.
Back to the topic.
The essay on the
You want me to get in on it?
all right.
What's up, John?
Let's just get serious again. So all of a sudden, when there is high pressure, it puts pressure on the fish on the water density. So many times our atmosphere. I'm going to try to keep this interesting because it's really not. But so
it is, Tim. It's very interesting. You'd be surprised how much
running
of us
around
think
right
it's
here. We have
interesting.
one atmosphere every 6 or 8 feet, and don't quote me on this because I'm not trying to be exact, but every 4 to 6, 8 feet, whatever, it's another atmosphere. All right. So by the time you get to 30 feet, it might be 3 atmospheres. But as soon as you put high pressure, instead of low pressure, lets fish move. I shouldn't say let's. That'd be incorrect. Low pressure is they feel confident in that they're not going to die by dropping water. Okay, so dropping water does the same thing. Barometric pressure does the same thing. It's either high or it's low. So less pressure on their swim bladder tells them that they are kind of a little bit in danger of being trapped somewhere if they're in shallow water. So that clicks off the fight or flight mechanism in primitive creatures that have a brainstem, medulla oblongata, with very learning capability. They know everything that they pretty much are ever going to know their entire life the second that they're born, because it's through inherited instincts that have evolved for millions of years. So really, they don't have decision-making capabilities until it's a Pavlovian dog type response that happens time and time again. That's different than other waters, because they don't. I mean, yes, they're all catfish. They all act the same with the same given parameters. But as soon as you introduce something really weird that doesn't exist in the Mississippi or the Tennessee or the Spoon or the Wapsie or the Skunk or any of those rivers,
and that can happen very easily when it's a river they weren't naturally in to begin with. It could be very easy for that stuff to happen, correct?
And we got 3 or 4 more questions lined up now.
Go ahead, Tim. I was wondering, we get caught. We get caught up in this river and that, and everything being the same. It's going to be different. It's going to be your basic instincts, your basic reactions.
I'm going to do a simple summary that I probably just should have answered B with this to begin with.
Yeah, absolutely.
High pressure bad, low pressure good. I should have just said that. That is the easiest example. The problem is that there's all kinds of other pieces to that equation during high and low pressure. And I'll be the first one to say, I've done really well on high pressure on giant fish before, but it's very rare. I've done really well on low pressure, but it is extremely prevalent to do well on low pressure.
All right. A really quick answer on this one, Tim, but Uncle Jeep wants to know, I'll read it, but we'll get a real quick answer. How much alcohol is required to get a channel cat and a blue cat to have a night of regrets? This is going back to the fish picture.
Let me tell you what, less than you think. I'm just saying.
This is going to be interesting because I was at a frat party one time. And they had a giant aquarium, Southern Illinois, and some guy ended up pouring a bunch of freaking whiskey in the tank. They don't do very well with that, not at all.
So not much at all.
leave it to Epic. Leave it to Tim to have an actual story about how that would affect the mating process.
I knew you'd have something to say.
That alcohol sucked the oxygen out, and they were stuck in the top of that tank as fast as you could shake it. I mean, you could.
An actual question from Captain Morgan: where do you fish? You okay, Stan?
No, that was just epic. I mean, that is the most epic question and answer. Like,
that's why I actually read it. I knew he'd have some.
Who else would have a story for that? None of us.
Captain Morgan wants to know.
None of us.
Captain Morgan wants to know, where do you fish when the lake has no current most of the time? Fort Loudon, Tennessee.
I'm gonna go for the deepest structure / cover. If I can find cover, meaning sticks, rocks, whatever, something, overhead cover, interior cover, whatever, I'm going to go for the old river channel. I'm going to go, but at night, I might go close to that, but up toward shore. I might fish 2 foot of water with one rod, 12 foot of water with another, 40 foot of water with the other, and 60 foot of water with the other. If I can find the steepest bank I can find, here's the water level like this. I love that on lakes, and especially if it's got like a little, a little old river channel that hasn't been silted. I mean, I might go into a cove. If the water's high, I'm going to go kind of shallower into a cove where maybe standing trees are there, but the water's inundated it. And I'm going to do really well in there, flatheads and channels. Now, blues, I don't have a whole lot of experience with lakes and blues on a natural. Lakes, I've fished some lakes that are, they're all Corps of Engineers lakes. I've fished Lake of the Ozarks. I've fished Powerton, Bradenton, blah, 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 all these power plant lakes. But on a more natural type situation, I'm going to start to focus on bait fish. I'm going to focus on they want to go the shortest amount of time from their home to where they can eat. Okay. Now, the one thing with the Mississippi, where they live at home, that's where they eat. So that's why you won't see me generally fishing shallow water on the Mississippi, because we have a gigantic amount of moon eye, which are deep. They blanket the bottom sometimes. Big suckers blanketing the bottom sometimes. I'll even mark them. Go ahead, Stan. Stan's got his hand raised.
Thank you, Professor. Thank you, Professor.
You're welcome. All right.
Now but big catfish. We're talking big. We're talking the biggest. It doesn't matter what body of water in. Whatever the big catfish are in that body of water. Just because there's some bait up in 2 feet of water, if it's 100 degrees, that water temperature is 90. Whatever. They're not going to go up in there for that because they can't.
That whole bait thing, it's all depending
on what the conditions are.
Really have in the conditions. Because if your lake you're fishing only has a small percentage of gizzard shad or a small percentage of this, and you can find little pockets of that, you might be onto something. But a lot of these lakes, you go up into the shallows, and it's just loaded with millions of bait fish. I mean, Shelbyville, you could take a spotlight and shine it across the surface of the water, and every square foot in the middle, at the edge, at the whatever, it's just loaded with shad doing this stuff all over the whole surface of the water. So that becomes a little bit more difficult. But still, I still stick with the tried and true equation as much as I can. And sometimes it doesn't pay off, but most of the time it does.
The next one, Greg Burgess asks.
Okay.
And he calls me a northerner. He's from down there.
Okay.
Danny, I still have you mute. If y'all need to say something, just wave at me. What Greg Burgess asks
for 30 minutes.
Yeah. Epic, what do you think of the Atchafalaya area? And he's talking the lower Atchafalaya.
Okay.
Not many people there trophy catfish. Creole fish is the northern part of the Atchafalaya. Most of the big cats along that river are usually caught on trout lines or nets. So what do you think of that area?
Okay. Whenever you have a river that most of your giants are getting caught by trout lines and bank poles, is because a trout line and a bank pole fishes 24/7. They can use baits that aren't easily killed. They use baits that last for a week. So just imagine if you've got 50 rod and reels out that don't take somebody setting the hook or reeling them in, and you can put giant bullheads, big sockeye, you can put on a bowfin if you want, which what do they call that down there? What do they call bowfin down there? Huh?
Shoe pick.
Shoe pick. You can put shoe pick on it. You can put you can shoot if you had armored catfish, you could put it on it. Your other fish, your channel cats and your small blues, aren't going to be able to peck it to death. So that is just an attrition thing. It doesn't really mean that it's better fishing. It just means that you have an army of people that are willing to spend the time to meet fish like that and not really have sport. They just want to see the fish. Even the guys that let them go, they just want to see the fish. I don't want to just see the fish. I want to figure them out, catch them on rod and reel, take a picture, and let them go. That's fine.
And Tim, that's something I've learned, that I think that Stan 3, even he surpassed me with picking this stuff up with you. And I know, I thank you that one time when you were out on the deck. Was that in Kansas City when you were going over the rivers and
It was.
You were out
It
there
was. We were standing on the deck at night as the moonlight and all the city lights were going off. I'm like, okay, so that current right there will tell you that there's a sharp drop right there, and then there's a flat right there, and then blah blah blah. Yes, you can pick them out from here.
So, I was using the analogy earlier that it's like if there's two different types of fishing. Like if you're bank fish set up on one spot, it's like, okay, and that's the same thing with like limb lines, and that the fish eventually they're going to be in that area. But if you're like on the boat and you're searching, like that's more like somebody that's like stalking. You're looking for marks. You're going to this. You're kind of like I need to know where they're at right now. The bank lines, the limb lines, and all that. No, I know they'll eventually be there. I don't care where they're at right now. I know, but what we do a lot is we're like, okay, I need to know where they're at right now. I've got 6 hours to catch them, and you got to try to pick out what they're doing every moment of the day. I think that's the big difference.
Now, one thing that I have grown to learn is that it is sometimes, which is an amazing amount of the daytime, that in the post-spawn, it is impossible to get a giant catfish to bite effectively. I think Danny Stone and what's his name went through that today. They were able to get a bite, but it was a short bite.
Yeah, absolutely.
And one, this is going to sound weird. This is a little zen right here. This is some.
Tim, that happens to all of us, by the way. We all have that on a large number of trips.
True, but if you marked a 5.5 foot catfish all by himself, and you threw down and you crisscrossed and you took the bait, and you got it in front of his face, and he takes it down pretty hard, and he's only got half the bait because it's during the day, you better learn how to move instead of targeting that fish necessarily according to how he is on the sonar. So let's just say this is my sonar screen, and I see a gigantic fish like this. And he's just sitting there like a giant bump. And the only reason I know he's there is because there's no giant bump when I've went over it in the past. Because I have one of those minds. I memorize shit. I'm not saying I have the greatest memory in the world anymore, but yes. So like this, or like this off the bottom, just a little bit, just straight. Bulbous, he's got the big head. You can tell. Let's just say this is his tail, and right here is his head. If he is basically sitting like this, he ain't ready to eat. All right. Now, it isn't that I can control myself and not throw baits on him, because I have to. I absolutely have to. Because one thing I know is at some point, and it doesn't mean dark, at some point that fish is going to get up and he's going to move. He may move this way, downstream. He may turn around and go downstream. But odds are he's going to go upstream. So I need to find something within 100 yards that is going to either it's an incline, or maybe it's a wing dike that comes out and stops. So he's going to come up from even 100, 150, 300 yards. It doesn't matter. I'm going to find the nearest obstruction But he's going to have to spend a little bit of time when he raises up off the bottom and goes. And so he's going to find my bait that is sometimes as big as this coffee can. That's really what I kind of
absolutely.
So the next one we have, that's the last question I see for now. 21 hunting. I believe that was Jason Cutter. He said, and this seems like just a straight advice question. I like these, and it may not necessarily be about just trophy catfish either.
Yeah,
absolutely.
Are the catfish living along the shoreline in a river in the middle? Where would I cast if I had no idea what to do?
All right. If you don't have any insight, such as a fish finder, and you don't have a boat, and I used to be a shore angler, I would look at a map, and they did have those archaic maps in the day. They were kind of expensive. They were like $40, which $40 was a lot in 1984.
And that's per body of water.
Yes, per body of water. A lot in 1984. But if you really wanted to know, you could, and now you can just look it up on your phone. So they have topographical maps so that you can look at the contour of the river. So if the river's low, you want to go to the narrower sections. If the river's high, you want to maybe go from the narrower as it flows to the wider sections a little bit. You are going to look at a topographical that has that same sort of thing. So here's the bank. This is the sand. Maybe it's a little bit deeper. Maybe it comes out like this. Maybe here's the thing, and there's a little shelf, and there's a little whatever. But if you can find anything that kind of juts out, what in the hell is Danny doing?
Hey, let me unmute him. Danny, do you have something to say?
Whatever, somebody might notice.
It's Danny.
You're unmuted. Do you have something to say, Danny?
He said, I bet you can't get their attention. I said, you're going to lose that bet.
I thought Danny was commenting on the fact that I'm a little fat these days.
Oh,
I don't like you.
Hey, I'll go head to head with you on fat competition, son. We'll see who stretch your shirt out further.
I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know. It's looking. I gotta suck it in these days.
Come on.
Yeah.
Can't tell them they're amateurs.
I've had people ask me if I was pregnant.
Amateurs, I say.
That's all you wanted to say.
Hey, Danny,
What?
it was good seeing you and Richard back out on the water together.
Man, it was good being on the water with Richard again. I tell you what, I
Had a good time.
I miss this guy. I do.
You're gonna be seeing it a lot more, John. A lot more.
I'm gonna get him back out of the water. Don't worry, I got him. But we're gonna jump down in camp. We'll watch the rest of this on the drive home. Man, love you guys. RCT strong, baby. We'll see y'all.
See you guys.
And
Lead.
they did have a fishing show. They caught a nice fish before the live ended. It was a fishing show. And we did talk about techniques and a lot of other stuff. So, fishing show.
And let's see. I think you were cut off kind of halfway that one by Danny. So finish with what you were saying about finding them from the bank, and then we have a question or two after that.
So you're gonna look at the topography of whatever you can get a hold of, whether it's a paper map from the 80s or whether it's a recent map. And yes, some of them are kind of archaic and maybe they didn't update it, but at least you can get an idea. So a big giant wide pool on a river is harder to deal with than a narrow pool. So if you can look at that topography and go to the narrow stretch, especially if you're just looking for fish, holy moly, if you can find bank access that has a migration stopper in the form of a dam, a low head dam, or whatever, or maybe even a riffle, because let's go all the way down to little tiny rivers. Catfish will come from the run, which is the big, slow, deeper water section, to the hole and up to the riffle to feed, because the riffle is the home of the small fish, the minnows and the shad and the bluegill and the this and that and the other. They don't really hang out in those big, deep holes. But it is not important to a catfish unless they're forced to. They actually prefer to be in the water that they're most comfortable. So we know catfish like deeper water. They like fairly swift water, depending on which species you're after. And then as long as they have access to, wood or, shallow water with bait fish that has consistent bait fish action, you can up your odds for it. Otherwise, I would tell you to move. I mean, shoot, when Stan was fishing the shore, he'd go through a lull, and I'm like, Stan, it's time to move. I'm very familiar with his area that he fishes. And he'd be like, okay, everybody, I'm getting you in the little car. And they'd stuff all the rods in the car and they'd move. And then all of a sudden, their odds were increased. Did that answer it the best? I mean, those easy questions are actually the biggest and widest breadth, and they take the longest time to explain.
Yeah. The next question, Tim, if you want to answer it or if you want me to give local for us answer, but Trina's asking, it looks like they're planning a trip with 2 to 4 people. Based on your guys' experience, what's the max size boat you think would work well in the Mississippi River overall? And she followed up, commented, she has a 28-footer that she's coming with 2 to 4 people.
What kind of 28-footer? Are we talking about like a cuddy cabin? Yeah.
I'll give my answer real quick.
I mean, yeah. She'll answer that. I mean, usually a 28-foot, you're looking at like something that can fish freshwater or saltwater. Now, I would feel a little undergunned with a 28-foot boat because I can't turn it around right. My sonar's not going to be what needs to be for the Mississippi River. But if she was way down by you, I think the water's big enough she could just kind of peel up onto some things. And as soon as the topography went from deep water to shallow water, I think she could try to anchor a 28-foot boat.
Sea Ray Cuddy Cabin.
Sea Ray Cuddy Cabin. That's a big-ass boat. That's more like something that would run Lake Michigan or, the ocean or any of that stuff. But I think she could do fairly well if she stayed down in your area because the population of fish is ginormous. I mean, you'd go into that deep water down there like people have been doing, throw out and catch 2,000 pounds in an afternoon.
Yeah, I'm looking at pictures of the boat.
You answer it locally.
Yeah, depends on where you're going. If you're down by Louisiana by me, in the river itself, you could have a 40-foot boat with its own bedroom and you'd be fine. Yeah. The problem you'll run into is how deep your boat drafts. There's lots of wing dikes. There's lots of closure dikes. And if you try to go into some off water or even say a secondary channel, you may hit shallow water all of a sudden. So if your boat drafts more than 15 inches, I'm not sure on that one, but that one looks like it would draft pretty darn deep. Have you some navionics or something and make sure you know where the deep enough water is. If you stay in deep enough water, that boat would actually be really, really comfortable on the big river in the Mississippi. As long as you need to have a good way to anchor it. That'd take a hell of an anchor for that boat to get, or trolling motor or something to get it into fishing position. But if you can get it into fishing position, like Tim was saying.
Hold it. I just got the imagination in my head of the size of the trolling motor you would have to use for a 28-foot fiberglass cuddy cabin that is made for like ocean. That is hilarious. It'd be like the size of a car tire.
I'm assuming some type of super big anchor or something. I'm not sure how you would actually position it.
Yeah, and you know what? I don't think you have to be that precise as long as you stay in the main river. And I agree with your assessment. Staying in that main channel between the buoys. And here's my other question, since I don't fish down there. Is it difficult to notice whether you're off channel or on channel? Do they keep those buoys going, or is it like my area where you got to kind of know, because there might be 7 buoys missing on the right side and you have no idea where you're going unless you know it?
A little of both. The biggest thing, which I know you would know, that stay on the outside bends. Do not cut a curve over the point. You will hit sand.
Yep. And on ours up here where the river is like constantly fast flow, and I'm not saying like Alton or St. Louis or any of the places you guys see me fish live, but up north, sometimes you need to The deep water's on the inside bend because it's rock based and there's not that much sand, and it peels it through. And the Rock River's like that, but I don't think she has to worry about that down there. I think you're 100%.
It's a 100% river silt, so you can assume the flows.
Okay. Yeah. I'll be right back.
Yeah, if that's the boat you have, you can make something happen. Watch out for shallow water. Know where you're going. Yeah, because I think if John was here, he used to fish. It wasn't a deep V, but it was like a 30-foot flat bottom. That boat was huge.
Nuh-uh, it wasn't a 30. It was a deep V.
What was it?
It was a deep V. It was a 35-foot cutty cabin, well craft.
Oh, so it's kind of like the one they're talking about.
Yep. And I don't know how theirs is set up, but mine I could draft in about 3.5 foot of water, 4 foot.
It's deeper than what I'm used to for drafting.
Well, I mean, for the size boat, yeah, that's what it.
Jeremy's Sea Arc, by the time it hits sand, I jump out of and I'm in ankle deep of water.
Yeah, but you got to look too. You got a 35-foot cutty cabin.
Yeah.
You know, it makes a big difference. I mean, look, if you was gonna ride in a boat with me, you'd have to get in it before we launched it.
Yeah. So Greg Burgess had a follow-up comment. He asked earlier about the Atchafalaya region.
Yeah.
He said the point he was trying to make was there's a lot of 100-pound cats caught that nobody knows about. So he wants to fish these areas with a rod and reel and do a catch and release and stuff. That's kind of what me and Jeremy started with. Is we know they're here because me and Jeremy saw them in nets. But the local community where we're at, where Greg is, nobody cares about a trophy catfish. They just look at it as food.
Well, if you're going to have and I'm just looking at this scientifically. So if you're going to have a shot at a 100-pounder down there in the big water, remember that the guys that are running nets run them longer than the guys that are running diddy poles, bank poles, and trot lines. They can be there for 2 weeks. And how many do they actually catch? So what is your average population of 100-plus pound blues? So you have to look at that a little bit respectively first. Second, my idea is, and I have never fished yet Atchafalaya, and I have not fished down in Louisiana, but if I was,
you will.
I will. If I was to take my catfish brain and throw it down there, just kind of serendipitously, I would have to imagine that there's a lot of those deep water holes are going to have a whole lot of swirl. Okay. Yep. But there's going to be giant fish there because I see it even up here in the northern range. I see fish that I cannot get to on a conventional anchor, and they're there. They stay there, and because they love giant catfish love water that moves this way and that way. Now, if it's like a whirlpool situation, which I'm sure you've got those down there, I'm sure John would tell you, you got whirlpools, you got crazy stuff, you've got just fantastic stuff down there. To give great advice for that, I would have to have like 20 years experience down there. But my best imaginary advice is going to be that you can fish, and I'll make this one simple too. Mark giant fish, try your best no matter how to triangulate on them and put that bait into their face. If they won't bite or if they're sitting like this when you mark them, which down there it could be 10-foot sturgeon or bull sharks, who knows. But if you think they're catfish and they're doing this, you're going to have to figure out a situation that you can fish upstream of them. I mean, they're almost as likely to go downstream or cross current, but I just choose upstream as a default. So I'll go upstream, and if this is their head right here and this is upstream, I'm going to be less than 300 yards to something. Maybe a rise, maybe a wing dike, maybe an obstruction, maybe a sunken barge, maybe trees. Doesn't really matter what. I'm going to try to put my baits to where when he gets up and he starts moving, he's going to look around. Because I need giant fish to hesitate. Because otherwise they swim right by your baits. I've seen that time and time again. To where I've placed baits on giant fish, and all of a sudden I have no bites, but yet they're moving underneath my boat. And I call them school buses or wildebeest. I mean, they're on the screen. If this is my screen, if everybody's watching on a phone, shoot, they're that stinking long and they're that tall. They're like this, and they're full of red. You turn the sensitivity down, they narrow down a little bit, but they're still full of red. That's a giant fish, 4.5, 5.5 foot long. And many times I've got to whip out the down rods, which is a whole nother explanation. I've got a sinker about that size.
Yeah.
It could be up to 2 pounds, maybe 3 pounds. Jeremy's got some too, that I'll just basically shotgun straight underneath the boat, even in that fast current. And I will have a giant hook with a piece of bait, either probably not that size, but something like this, maybe shorter. I'm not always into long baits, but probably like 2/3 of this, about that big around, whether it be a head or a body. And I'm gonna shotgun that thing down. I want it to attract that fish, because I've only got minutes, like less than 30 minutes. Once I see them start moving underneath the boat, even if I'm at the top or the crest of a wing dike where I know they're gonna stop, big blues will get up and they'll search that wing dike. And if there's not a whole lot that they're interested in, they'll go right around it and keep on going, and you just done missed the boat.
Yep. Yeah, the Atchafalaya is an interesting place because of some of the histories of how swift it used to be to cut these holes. So they're bigger than you would think sometimes. It's a weird place. Yeah, Trina also has an 18-foot Pantera jet boat, which would be better at the shallow water. It'd get you there quick enough. If you can get some rod holders on that sucker, though.
I probably wouldn't if I was her with what I'm hearing about her because of the question experience level. I would go to where pretty much everybody else goes, where the giant pile of 30 to 50 pound blues and pile up right there. I don't even know where it is. I try not to think about it, because pretty soon I'm going to start loading my truck and boat and go like 20 some hours south, and I just don't need to do that. I'm pretty busy. So, yeah, I mean, if she could pull that boat right into where everybody else is catching the giant piles of fish, and I've talked to guys that are fishing that, and they're like, yeah, this whole basin hole is full of catfish for a mile. A mile, it's just the whole bottom is covered, and sometimes high in the water column. I'm like, okay, that's interesting.
John has not a mile, but John has a spot. Giant hole always has just a pile of fish, different sizes. Yeah. But Trina, message one of us, especially me, John, or Creole. Let us know where in the Mississippi you're going. We can maybe point to you some spots, and for sure tell you which landing to go to. Because with that bigger boat, certain landings you're not going to want to go to in our area.
Yeah. That's huge. I had to buy a thing called a gazetteer to figure out where boat ramps were, and you could never tell how big or small they were. It was just looked like a little shoe sole, right on the river. And you're like, you get to it, and it's like, oh, it's a carry-on, or whatever.
And you would think that giant nice river's full of big old nice boat ramps, and oh my God, it is not. No, you have to search for a good quality ramp.
Well,
so
you know what the joke is around here on the James is that they designed every single road to every boat ramp here in Virginia. All right, we're gonna pick the narrowest road we can find with the steepest. There's no shoulder. It's just a channel, and it's got to have potholes. Every single boat ramp in Virginia, that's the road leading to it. And
Stan, the potholes were monumental back when I fished that. They were monumental. They could literally rip they could rip a trailer tire off. It went too fast.
Yeah. The ramp by John's house used to be a huge, nice ramp. A few high waters have actually damaged it so bad, you have to watch exactly where you put your trailer tires.
Yep.
Or you'll just fall in a hole mid-ramp.
I believe that.
Yeah, that's a Mississippi River thing. I feel it's like ask a local and they'll tell you where it's safe because sometimes high water just changes things.
Yeah.
It
Tim, I got a
changes things
question.
every time.
Tim, I got a question for you. For those of us out there that haven't quite experienced, maybe we've done a lot of other fishing, and we've started to catch some catfish, and we're like, holy crap, look at this! This is a 10-pounder.
Body of water we're in. Like for those that are just getting in that journey, what advice for people that want to get to that next level? What's the just for those beginners?
Learn everything you can. Keep your mind open. Listen to people that can catch things because you can see them now. You know who to listen to now because the proof is in the videos and in the live shows. Listen to those people. And, if your PB is 5 pounds and you're happy with 10s, but go with it. It's the journey. It's all about the journey, and if kind of one of the worst things to do is skip from a PB of like 56 pounds to 90, which Sean just went through. And that's kind of rough to get your passion back on certain people, certain people I've taken 65, 70 pound flathead and they never fished again. I've taken some people that were muskie fishermen, caught a 65, 70 pound flathead and said, I'm selling all my muskie gear when I get home. I'll never fish for them again. So it's all the individual and it's all what you like and it's all that, and even though I'm not a big fan of smaller fish, anything under 40 pounds, I never looked at. I really revel in the fact that people, matter of fact, there's somebody I've been watching live on TikTok because they're kind of new at it. They fish my area and they're still excited about drum. And I'm like, oh, I haven't been excited about drum since I was like 11. It's
right. Tim, I remember, I think we started doing this like 5 years ago, and like our first lives and stuff. And I think Captain Heroes came in there first, and talking with him and stuff. He's like, "Oh man, my friend Epic, he loves you," and blah blah blah. And we're talking about. I'm like, well, we came from I lived in Louisiana when we were younger, and I've done some of that stuff, but it was mostly we took Louisiana tactics up in New York, upstate New York, and we were catching, some channel cats and stuff, but up there it was lake trout and pike and muskie, and we talked about all kinds of stuff like that. I said, well, I'm just a multi-species. And they're like, well, then you're going to do great at catfishing.
Yep. If you're a multi-species guy and you can understand the the biometrics of all of that, you're going to do fine with catfishing.
And it was an adventure from there. So, the reason that Tim is saying, 40, 50, 60, because he's caught so many of them already. If you haven't been there yet, and that's your addiction, you want that. And I know V, V from Catch Fish with Us, her very well.
Yep.
That her next thing is that drug, that pull, that whatever is that next biggest fish. It doesn't always have to be that though. There could, it could just going out and catching 10 catfish in a day, and that could be a big moment for somebody.
Matt Ryan just popped back in and has a good comment, which I don't know if Matt Ryan and Tim would kind of know, but Matt Ryan is from, I think we've told you about, we have a recent influx of people from California that do a lot of saltwater fishing because of the Your Saltwater Guide podcast. Matt Ryan's one of those guys. Extremely good fisherman, just not catfish, but for other stuff.
It's all similar.
He said, number one tip, don't keep track of PBs. Makes every fish exciting no matter what. And honestly, I agree.
Yeah. I just have to make sure my I do keep track of PBs. I just want to in the new age of technology, I want to be able to beat 130. Because my PB is 143, and I already know it's very low odds that I'm going to beat that, okay? But I don't have that one on film. I have another one that is bigger than my other one that's on film. So my PB has changed to what's on film that I can put out on social media. I mean, yeah.
And if you don't have those size fish in your area, and your biggest fish, you can look on any body of water, you can see what what records there are for those waters and what fish are normally caught. And if the biggest fish,
Yeah.
I don't care if it's bass or catfish or whatever. If whatever floats your boat, whatever you get excited over, if the biggest fish that you've caught is 3 pounds, and you catch an 8-pounder, well, guess what? Celebrate the hell out of it. That's
Be excited.
I'm
Stan,
excited over his watermelon.
Stan, when I first fished the James, I drove 12 hours. Listen, I drove 12 hours to fish the James when the state record was 36 pounds.
Holy crap.
In one weekend, we beat that state record so bad, but
Oh,
never, we never, I mean, like doubled it. We never listed a state record, but yet I was willing to go there at 36 pounds, was the biggest catfish that anybody had registered. It took 12 hours and, 7 days to do it, and we beat that up. But I'd have still been happy to catch 30-pounders because it was a new upcoming lake, and I had already been spoiled and ruined and all that. So,
Yeah. My big fish, if we would have registered it, would have been number 4 or 5 on the list.
Oh, I'm sure.
Because nobody registers fish here.
Yeah.
John's caught a fish bigger than me, and his isn't registered. Like, I could name a bunch of just personal people I know that have caught bigger.
Yeah, and Tim, how what am I trying to say? Catfish has got the image of catfish. I think is, and I'll even admit it myself. I kind of had that until I started learning some more.
Sure.
Most of your bodies of water, catfish are the main predator.
Yes.
You got your flatheads, especially
Absolutely.
flatheads and blues, but even channel cats, depending on the situation.
Yeah.
Like, people think they're just these, you throw out some dirty old gym socks that you had soaking in purple bubble and then you put it in some chicken blood and you...
Yeah.
Will that work and catch catfish? I do that air quote. Of course. If you put it right in front of them and they're like, what the hell is that? And I'm starving. Absolutely. Yeah. And I think the more food source, I think we'll see some bodies of water, chicken, and all those other, the weird baits. We'll even catch big fish.
Sure.
In talking with you and the studying that I've done and stuff, it really depends on the food that's available in that body of water. And I think where you get some of those other ones is where they're competing for food. So even the big fish have to take advantage of opportunities that...
Sure.
But the more food source, like you were saying, mooneye is a deep water fish, deep water food source. You see, like in the Potomac, you've got white perch and now eel. American eel is more numbers than they ever had before. So you're seeing more bigger catfish because they have a bigger, higher protein, a higher food source available.
And people are getting used to it. I see a lot of guys from the Potomac. They're not fishing 15 foot of water anymore. They're fishing 25, 30, 40 foot of water.
Absolutely. And the bigger fish are out there.
That is just the it's the rise of the knowledge because they've been fishing long enough. They go, well, shoot, I'm having trouble catching anything over 20, 25 pounds. I catch an occasional 30, but I want to catch 30, 40s, 50s all the time. So I'm seeing people on the Potomac, the Schuylkill, other rivers.
Oh, yeah. Doing great up there.
They're fishing deeper water at the appropriate time. They're moving. I mean, it's going to pay off.
Absolutely.
That's something me and Jeremy had to learn kind of the hard way at times, too. If you want to catch bigger fish and really move up, like go from a 20 to a 40, from a 40 to a 60, and like us recently from a 60 to 100, you have to do different things.
Multiple 40s, hundreds of 40s, and hundreds of 50s, and whatever.
You've got to do different things. And sometimes, like when we always, one thing I wanted to say a minute ago, I almost forgot. When Tim Scott comes on, I always want to preface a lot of the things he says, and he will tell you that, is for hunting specifically gigantic monsters. If you were newer to catfishing and you're going out catching 10s and 20s, I'll say it, 90% of the stuff he says is useless because you're going to catch 10s and 20s.
Yeah.
You're
know what you're listening to.
Go target 10s and 20s with this size of a bait.
Yeah.
That's on my thing.
And
hey,
the
there's nothing
movement,
wrong.
watch how he's moving, set up 100 yards away and all. If you're catching
Right.
10s, that's you don't need all that.
Yeah,
Just
no,
forget
you
all
don't.
that.
All that,
And
no.
if that's what excites you and that's what floats your boat and you're happy going out there, you work 8 days a week and you get 2 hours to go fishing and you want to throw something out, you want to throw chicken out there and you catch a couple of catfish and you might get a 30 or a 40 or whatever. Hey, there's nothing wrong with that. We're happy that you're out there, part of the
All right.
family doing that.
So here's
My
a
biggest-
pattern. Here's a pattern. If you are into that, if you like 5s, 10s, 15s, 20s, and you do have a boat, doesn't matter what size boat, doesn't matter almost anything. Just have an adequate graph, an adequate bait that's not too big. It doesn't matter if it's shrimp or it doesn't matter if it's chubs, doesn't matter if it's shad, doesn't matter if it's whatever. As long as you're going to understand how far away the fish are when you mark them, even in 10 foot of water or 12 foot of water or 15 or 20 or even 30, move up enough to where your average cast is going to be in their face somewhere, and then exploit it. Change your baits often, move, cast, and go. And it doesn't matter what river you're on, just keep moving until you get on a situation you can exploit. And then you're at 20 fish before you know it, and you're at 40 fish by the end of the day, and you might be at 60, 75, and you're sick of catching catfish. I mean, it literally can happen depending on your population. Now, if your
That is a
population
fun
low,
day.
yeah, it is a fun day. And if your population is low, you still might need to fire a lot of baits all the time, almost like almost in military fashion, where you start at one point. I've marked a few fish here or there, and you're going to have to grid the thing, and you're going to have to anchor, let out anchor rope, deploy, change your baits, go this way, go that way, and then deploy, and then get your anchor rope, go again, and keep hopscotching down an entire bank.
Yeah.
If you hopscotch down an entire bank, you are bound to run into fish. Now, but if you sit there and you catch 2 or 3 fish and you sit there for 4 or 5 hours, don't expect, if the fish aren't moving, to be able to catch 25 to 40 fish in a day. And out of that is some big fish attrition. Okay. And it was kind of my strategy early on. It was one of my first strategies. And that is the run and gun, bomb them all, keep going, do that military fashion, go bomb, keep going in a grid, keep going, spend an adequate amount of time, but not too much time, and keep it all fired up. And by attrition, you could catch some big fish that way. I just so happen to get old and learned that I can literally pick out some big fish and spend that adequate time and not do that. But at one time, it was fun. Can
I ask you a question? You think if people are fishing in the right area, that's why you see a lot of the newer techniques. I shouldn't say newer, but cat fishermen for catfishing, with the bumping and the dragging and the drifting and is that you got a better chance. You may not catch the biggest fish that's in that water, but you're putting your bait in front of more active fish.
Yes.
So you may catch more 40s, 50s.
Yeah. The higher the population, the better odds you're going to have. I mean, I could put it on a spreadsheet for people, literally on a spreadsheet. Okay, population A plus blah, 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 plus time on the water, plus this, plus that equals more fish. And then by attrition, you're going to catch probably 15% of bigger fish that you would never have a shot at if you were just staying in one spot, blah, blah, blah. I mean, it is that. It is that 100%. And the more days you fish, the more likely you are to get on an active day where you're like, oh my gosh, you ought to have seen it. We had to stand behind a tree to bait our hook. It was so ridiculous.
And, we could get down as crazy as to like the 3-day cycle of it could go down the whole rabbit hole, but
you could, but if you're not a monster hunter, which I don't think many of us really are. I think there's a very small percent that are. If you're not a real true blue hardcore freaking catfish savage monster hunter.
And when Tim Scott says that, it's a very specific term.
We're talking catching multiple fish over 90 or 100 pounds, which most of us will never.
In a
Pretty
trip.
much got to be that catfish savage to go out
Yeah,
there.
just need one more to be multiple.
Yes.
Because but that you're talking, Tim. How many? What do you? I don't care what the weight is, because every body of water is going to have a certain percentage of fish that are that biggest monster fish in that body of water.
Yeah,
I think it's like less than 1% are the monsters.
The top end is clinically less than 1%.
Less than 1%. There
Yeah,
you go.
and it doesn't matter if the top end's 50. It doesn't matter if the top end's 80. It doesn't matter if the top
Right.
end's 100 or
So
150.
Let's look at somebody like Micah Burkhart. What do you think he does?
You know, and I don't watch him all that much, but from his
Yeah, no.
success rate and listening to him talk a few times, he does generally a lot what I do. He plays the odds. He throws the right bait. He didn't maybe throw as big a bait as I do because he's got multiple diverse situations that he fishes still, and I'm down to fishing like one kind of area because I'm just stuck that way. But he understands. Michael Burkhart, he knows. He may not be able to explain it like I do with all the science and shit, but he gets it.
He's figured it out the old school way by doing it.
Yeah, absolutely. Tim, one of the conversations you had with us, with Stan 3 and myself, was about, we're putting blues, so it's current. Current is what we're, and, you can go out and look at the river now, or I can, and Stan 3 did it before I did, God bless him, but I can go out there now and say, nope, yup. Like that, I give you credit for this all the time. You didn't necessarily tell me exactly where I needed to fish, but you told me exactly where I didn't need to fish by reading the river conditions, reading the water conditions. And it's something, you said it, it's not, I could go into all this and that and the variables and this, but, you can't understand it until you go out and do it, and you do it, and you do it, and you'll be able to look at it eventually and pick that up.
You know what's funny? Stan and I have been talking about this so long, both of our beards got gray.
Yeah, I look at that, dude. Are you kidding me?
Yeah, I got one or two gray ones starting here, boys.
So literally, I could explain it pretty easily by saying that understanding the areas that you don't fish is actually probably more productive than just understanding the areas you need to fish. Because if you can eliminate water, which I can, when I go down the river and go, nope, that looks okay. I need to look at it. Nope. I could be on a totally new river. Absolutely new. It doesn't have to be a big river. It could be a small river, whatever. I'm like, not going to happen. That's too slow. That's too fast. That's whatever. That was just right. So that's the one we need to fish. And it has paid off time. And it doesn't always pay off. That's the thing. I can stop at some of the greatest looking cover I've ever seen, greatest looking current I've ever seen. You just can't make them bite some days, especially flatheads. They're pretty finicky. But, as far as blues, if I can get some blues that are like face down into the dirt like this, look out, I'm catching some blues. That's it.
Oh, Lord.
Because I know exactly how far. And I don't care if they're 10s, 20s, 30s, 40s, 50s. If I run onto a pack of 90s with their face down, and I go on a river that's got 4.4 mile an hour current, and if I anchor down 150 feet up out of my 200 foot anchor rope, tie that off, get my giant baits, and I chuck them out there because I remembered where they all were according to my cone on my fish finder. Look out. I'm putting 90s in the boat if they're all 90s. Look.
Tim, I think the best scan I've ever seen like that is there was one online tournament where Jeremy he made monkey noises and pointed, and it was a group. This was at the hydro, a group of 50 pluses nose down.
Okay.
Behind a hump. And we didn't even have words. It was like, oh God, get the baits.
Yeah, there was monkey noises. Yep.
Oh God. But Matt,
so if y'all watch my lives, which I'm sure you probably do, if I start talking about school buses, wildebeest, and freaking giant donkeys, look out, because there's some coming to the boat at some point.
Tim, I got a question. Do you know your saltwater guide?
Do I know what?
Your saltwater guide. He's a YouTuber, podcaster, 50-year plus veteran of the California coast.
No, I do not.
He has, and we've been making friends with him and his crew. That's Matt Ryan that's been in chat with us. He does a podcast at least once a day.
Okay.
And he
He's
gets
beaten me, Tim. He passed me. He passed me.
sometimes hundreds of thousands of views across platforms. He is
All right.
bigger than any of us by an extreme margin.
Absolutely.
And Matt Ryan is saying we need to get I don't know if Matt Ryan knew who Tim Scott was before today, but
Right,
y'all
a
are
lot
being
of people
introduced
don't.
here.
Dude, I met some people today. They're like, who the hell's Epic Catfish?
Which-
They didn't give a shit.
Yeah.
Matt, if you haven't figured it out, Tim Scott is a lifetime, and when he says monster catfish, he's talking 120-pound plus. His verbiage means way bigger fish than any of us talking.
Come on.
And he does this to a scientific degree that absolutely no one else can match.
But remember one thing. I don't do it at the pace that a scientist would do that. I do it in full out war fashion. This
Right.
there is no tomorrow. There is no sleep. There is no thing that, you know, I could be aching and tired and whatever. It might be daylight by the time we might have to lock through. I might have to fend off freaking giant logs, 30-inch logs that are just wanting to sink us. Yeah. And the strongest current that most people go, oh God, no. I'm like, I'm in it. You know?
Also, Matt Ryan has heard of you, and
Nope.
yes,
Wow.
Yeah, well,
that's pretty
Captain Dave and Tim would get along great, and we should probably
absolutely.
help coordinate a podcast between y'all.
Awesome.
Absolutely.
And just tell Captain Ryan that I have a wide variety of experience on that. I was a charter mate on Lake Michigan, probably 3 or 4 years through college. I'm used to yellow birds. I'm used to dragging. I'm used to dropping. I'm used to, you know, all that kind of crazy shit, you know. And so I was originally a multi-species guy, even though I love catfish the most. I have just chosen to focus my life on catfish because I could, and it was the closest to me that I could deal with. Even though giant catfish are like 4.5 hours from me, except for, you know, if I think a giant catfish is 30, it's about an hour from me. But I don't fish an hour from me too much.
If I remember, you
Sup,
caught
John?
a bunch of fish in the Essex family. Some monsters there, if I'm not mistaken.
I already have this set up with Dave. It's just when Epic's schedule allows him to go on the podcast, it's already set up.
Well, let's go. Let's go this weekend after I get back from my adventure trip, which I'm finally able to go. And it's going to be one of two stories. It's going to be, you ought to have seen the gigantic fish that we caught, and I got videos and I got, you know, live shows, whatever. Or it was a bad day at Black Rock because I marked fish and I couldn't get them to go. But I don't think that's going to happen out of 3 days, even though 14 foot is quite formidable down there. So a buddy of mine about the size of Stan back in the day, we anchored on a wing dike.
A little guy.
Yeah, yeah. He was a D1 athlete. He ended up he was a catcher for the Marlins, and so was his brother. His brother was 6'7", 240 pounds, and John was about 6'3" and about 330. And you talk about making fish look small. Old John can make a 100-pounder look pretty small. But anyways, I ended up teaching him how to, you know, hold fish and all this stuff. Whatever. So anyway, we were young. We were in our 30s at the time, and we anchored up. We threw our big ass anchor in front of this wing dike, and I mean that water was cooking. I mean cooking. And we shotgun lines down in 45 foot of water of some of the fastest water I've ever seen, because it was 19 foot. Where when I caught that 130 on YouTube, the famous one. It was running about 10 or 11 feet. This thing was.
Is that the one that knocked your tooth out?
No, that was another.
That was a different one. That was a different one.
Yeah. So, but anyway, we hook up. We mark 2 fish at the base of this wing dike on the tip. On the tip at 19 foot. I mean, that shit's
on the tip.
Flying past you. We shotgun baits down there because we couldn't hardly anchor because I didn't have the hurricane anchor like I have now that's like 40 pounds,
plus another 20 pounds of anchor.
That's when the current's so strong, the anchor rope hums.
Dude, it wasn't even fun. It was so much work. It was like stressful. It was still hot at night. And I turned to John because we caught back-to-back 70s in that current. And a 70, imagine a 70 acting like a gigantic musky spinner bait that you get to the top of the water. A 70. I was like, oh, geez, I've never seen anything like this. But we successfully landed 2 70s in that kind of crazy circumstance. And I go to John, I go, wow, I don't care how many fish we mark in this shit because they didn't move. I mean, the river's double its height and 3 times as fast. I said, we're going down where it's a little bit, calmer. We didn't catch as many fish, but we caught a 70 down there. And John goes, oh, yeah, that was a lot more enjoyable.
Yeah. And for those that didn't catch it, when Tim is talking about that, usually, like, you'll hear most of us say, when we got a big fish and you're in current and it's down and it's swimming upriver, we're like, oh, this is a big fish because they can match that current. So you get a 70 pounder up on top of that. That should tell you what kind of water you're in.
Stan, it was the dumbest thing I've ever been involved with. It was the craziest thing I've ever been involved with. And luckily, both fish were in the bottom jaw. They weren't even in the side because we'd have lost it if it was in the side. It'd have been all done. And I literally had the biggest spinner bait. It looked like a washing machine going in the water, and it was at night too. I was just like, oh my God.
And I know for a fact you can feel when it's happening, even with the big ones. A whole rod goes in a circle.
It was so stupid. It was so ignorant, stupid for a 70 pounder. And now a lot of people are like, well, you should have had like one of those anchors you could just let go and it's got a ball and all this stuff. I'm like, yeah. But here's the thing. Both of us are busy, and there's 19 wing dikes down there that we could crash into on the freaking and about 6 barges coming up this way. You know what it's like. I'm like, no. We just battled those things Conan style. And it was horrible. I was young. I was like 32. I had of course the tide came in, but I still had a 6-pack. It was just underneath the fat tide.
All right. Night, Randy.
But right on my gut, I had like the biggest.
Need to say anything before you go, Randy?
What are you doing?
All right. Peace, homie.
Much love. Deuces, Randy.
Yeah.
That was Randy Swain, old gray Randy Swain.
Randy got tired of rolling eyes on my stories.
He's been doing a great job. He's been on some fish, been learning some different things. And big shout out to Randy and Lisa. They've both been doing very, very well, and promoting the community and being a big part of RCT right now. So big shout out to both of them.
Did I ever tell you I lost 2 cast nets in a row once? In a row. Brand new. So we were on the Iowa River.
You consoled Stan 3 with that one time when he was telling you about like a high-tech net or something he lost.
Oh, yeah.
You're like, dude, I lost 2 of them in a row.
In a row. It was so terrible. They cost me like $50 a piece when I had no money, and here I am fishing in like a 16-foot John boat with an old 9.9 Johnson. And I'm in the backwaters, of the Mississippi River thinking I'm all the shit. And so I throw this thing off of a secondary channel where I see all kinds of shad popping. And I grabbed the biggest, dumbest tree that was about 2 foot underneath the water. And then I'm like, okay, I'm not doing that anymore. Let's go to the end of this thing where the shad are popping. And sure as shit, I grabbed a giant piece of concrete and I should have dove in. It's just the dumbest shit ever.
Yeah.
I think the closest we've seen to that current situation, Tim, is we were at the hydro and it was ripping. One specific fish on video, Jeremy caught that 72 bumping, and that's the one he had his drag a little too tight.
Okay.
And the fish pulled, and Jeremy's not a small guy, over the back of the boat. And the rod was between the pod and the motor.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. You're like, holy moly, some bullshit's going to happen here.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We do need to be nice to everybody and wrap up relatively soon. Tim, definitely finish what you have to say.
Yeah.
Final thoughts, everything.
No. I'll answer a few questions and do my salutation. It's fine.
The chat hasn't had a question in a minute, so I think they're just listening at this point.
Which normally happens.
They're probably like, oh my gosh, this guy's full of shit.
At
So,
around
you know, the
3 hour
funniest
mark,
thing-
they get tired. Yeah.
You know, the funniest thing Tim, is we get a lot of views and a lot of. We may get less views when you're actually on, but if you look at the analysis behind it, it's because
Really?
most people when other people are on, they're like, oh, I'll go here, I'll go there, so they come back and forth, so everyone has a view. Well, when you're on, people don't leave and
Yeah.
people don't interact in
I'm
chat.
telling you,
because they just-
I
they
have
sit there
never
and
met.
listen.
I have never met more interested and interesting people
Absolutely,
on YouTube
dude.
than I have anywhere else ever.
Dude, I showed you the notebook when I first started talking to you. I was like taking notes whenever I talked to you and stuff. Like,
Yeah.
But we thank you, Tim. Seriously.
Hey,
And,
thank you for having me on.
You know, you are one of the ones that we can think. But you know, there's a lot of OGs, Steve Douglas, and you know, a lot of other ones that you know, paved the way for us. And like I said, you've given us
100%.
the ability to start here instead of having to go from here up to here. And
100%.
we can't thank you
And I'll
enough.
tell you what. Hey, my hat's off to Steve Douglas and Chris. You know, Muddy Waters, and you know, all you guys. And look at John. John hadn't said shit tonight, but yeah,
John's been eating watermelon. He's fine.
I'm telling you, this guy is pioneering some shit in the catfish world that nobody even knows about yet, and I have yet to prove it to myself. I think it's going to work good, those rods, but we'll see, because if those rods handle that BS that I'm dealing with down there, they'll handle it anywhere. So we'll see.
One of those rods did catch a fish in the MRM tournament.
Yeah, nice.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I want that rod to catch like a 140 or a 150.
No, this was like an 8-pound flathead. It wasn't impressive.
Type shit. Okay.
Oh yeah, Matt Ryan's been saying in chat that Tim sounds like a saltwater fisherman with like the science, the run and gun, the fresh bait, and
Yeah. I mean, you kind of have to if you have high expectations, and that's been a fault of mine my whole life. I have high expectations for everything. I have high expectations for my house, for my girlfriend, for my kids, for my wife, for my except my vehicles. I buy cheap ass vehicles because I don't have high expectations.
your furniture.
But furniture, all that stuff, I got high expectations of myself. So for me to look in the mirror, I got to move. I got to move baits. I got to get on the best situation I can try to find. I got to look. I can never go to the river. I have never been able to go to the river, go out there and mark like a couple catfish and then anchor down and try to fish. I'm always looking for a better situation. And I have learned that 10-step rating, and I will go to 30 spots and I will start rating all those spots before I even decide to fish. Because I know at that period of time, especially in the period of time that I'm fishing, the post-spawn, it's different in the pre-spawn. It's different in the like hard post-spawn. But I'm talking about the time that I'm coming into right now. I will look at that river for maybe even 4 hours. I will rate the best 10 spots, and I might look at 25 great spots. And I'll say, okay, that's number one, until I get to spot number 3. And I go, that's number 1. This is now number 3. Then maybe I'll get to number 9 spot and go, that's number 1 spot. And so this is number 7. And I, luckily in my mind, I can like switch that shit around and go, okay, this is a spot I need to be on at 9 o'clock at night. This is a spot I need to be on at 7:30. And this is a spot I need to be on at 6:30. And most of the time it pays off. Sometimes it doesn't. And my mind freaking literally, I have like a woodpecker that pecks into my brain and it sounds weird, but like I'll be staring at the rods and I'll be looking at the fish finder and I'll be talking to people and I'll be looking. I'm like, why are we not catching fish? So I get that woodpecker into my brain going, look, time's a ticking, because these have been moving. So I'm either doing something wrong. So I need to adjust the way I fish to the fish
not try to guess what it's not guesswork. I may be doing something that I'm fond of that the fish aren't. So I'm like, okay, I got to switch this shit around. I'll have to go deeper. I have to go shallower. I have to throw more sideways. I have to do whatever. But at the end of the day, I'm going to have to move because I only have so much time. And I'm going to put like that. It's war. It is absolute catfish war. That's it. That's all I can say. Sorry.
You know, Tim,
Yeah.
you know, it's one more piece of advice I'll give everybody. I have to do this every night. If all of this is way too much information,
It
and
is.
you just want to go catch some catfish, you know, it's the best piece of advice. You contact Creole's Guide Service. And we'll take you out on the river.
Oh, and there we go.
All right. And there's the shameless plug of the night. It took 3 hours, and I got it in.
Shameless plug, and it went. And you know what? I'll help that shameless plug because
Uh-oh.
these guys do understand catfish. They're in Catfish Mecca. Go with them. You'll have a great time. They're good people. That's it.
There you go.
Oh, John, what you got to say?
What I got to say is hey, all right, that'll work. I got somebody that's going to join us backstage. I'll send you the link.
Uh-oh.
All right.
Oh, I know that voice.
I know who that's going to be in backstage, but nah.
That sounded a little European. I couldn't quite tell if.
Yeah. Sounded like a mix of Greece and New York.
Yeah, I thought I heard
Like-
New York. I heard Greek. I don't know. I was.
We're not getting infiltrated by the Brits, are we?
Like Tim,
No,
like Tim was saying,
the Greeks are taking
you know,
over.
we covered a lot of ground tonight with Tim, but there's still other things that Tim hadn't even spoke on that me and Tim has discussed because we know it, we've done it. You know, I'm gonna just give you a taste of it. East Bank, West Bank, 3 days. That's coming up for the next go around.
Yeah.
So-
Bring it up because I'll just keep repeating the same
Yeah,
shit.
And,
we know what it is.
and I always say, if you're new to it, don't overwhelm yourself and overthink
No,
it.
absolutely
Just put
not.
fish in the boat.
Absolutely not. Put fish in the boat every time
Yeah.
you go. And I'm telling you, it's you know, if you're not a giant hunter, it's pretty much 99%, 98%. You can put fish in the boat and multiples of them. Doesn't matter what the circumstance is. Doesn't matter what the thing is. But you just got to follow that mantra. You got to look at your fish finder. You got to move. You got to have adequate baits. You got to have good product. You got to have good baits, good hooks, good sinkers, and just keep moving. Because a run and gun approach is kind of a carpet bomb. It really is, and you can do well as long as you don't settle in too hard. You're good. You're gonna catch fish.
All right. What you say, Lance?
Lance hadn't said
Thanks for
shit
coming
all
out,
night.
Tim. Well, I'm about to let you know why. My daddy told me when I was a boy, he said, you stay quiet, listen to a person that's talking, you'll learn a lot about them, and you'll learn what they're talking about.
Some good advice, Stan.
You suck ass.
There's not very many times that a guest gets more words in than I do, but that's always with Tim every single time. It's not because Tim loves to talk. I just love to listen when Tim's talking, and that's what it is.
Jimmy said, I'm back.
Everybody's coming in.
But you know, and Tim, you were saying about just enjoy the journey, dude. That was the first thing you told me. You said, enjoy the journey,
Yes.
dude. I'm here with you. And we feel the same way. We are here with you. If you're catching 5-pounders and that's what you're going on and you want to get that, we're here with you. You want to get to that 20, ask questions, message us, email us. We want you to get that next.
If you didn't know, we like talking catfish.
Oh, yeah.
We'll talk catfish.
Just a little bit.
Hey, Tim, you remember when at one point, if I got a phone
Like
call
we've
at
always
midnight,
said, Tim, you always got a spot on this panel.
absolutely.
Thank
But
you,
Tim, you
guys.
remember?
I
You remember I
appreciate
used to get a phone call at midnight, and Dee is like, "Oh, that must be Tim. It must be Epic." I've got more people now. She's like, "It's either Epic or it's John or it's." So the list has grown, Tim. The list has grown.
I wish we
But
could have
like
phoned in advice halfway to day 2 when we couldn't find the fish.
you
I
could have phoned
appreciate.
in advice. I think
We could have, but that would be illegal in tournament rules.
All right. All right. But
Tim, I can't.
I used to coach tournament guys back in the day. Probably 5 groups. They were at the out of 100 boat tournaments back in the day. They were usually the last 50 or 75 or whatever. And it took me about 3 years of either taking them fishing a little bit and coaching them on the phone. I'm like, look, because I'm kind of matter of fact when it comes to tournament guys. I'm like, look, this is what you're not understanding right here. This is what I need to tell you. If you're going to score in tournaments and be in the top 15 or 20, this is what you have to understand. Yes, do this. And I'm not the best tournament guy in the world, but I have fished same days as tournaments. And if I would have weighed in, I would have embarrassed everyone. Fine. Not all the time, but yeah. So, but let's just say it was fun because people would call me, and pretty soon they're 50 out of 100 went to 25, and then pretty soon the year after that it went to the top 15, and then it went to the top 5, and I'm telling you, it was amazing to have that happen, and so that's kind of what convinced me to help people out on social media, because I thought maybe I could help some people kind of fast forward some knowledge, so it wasn't going to take them thousands of dollars and hundreds of hours to get closer to what they want to do.
I guess the official last question of the night. You said you're fishing later. Robert Moldlin asks, is Tim going live on YouTube this week?
I may if I can. And sometimes the signal down there is terrible, and depends if I'm up against like giant barges or or dam walls or whatever. But I do hope to go live on YouTube Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday, even though I don't have Sean.
Oh.
No Sean, you said?
No Sean. It's going to be Aaron, which Aaron is Aaron's about as close to scientific as you're going to get to me. I mean, I have trained this kid since I was 18, and he's actually brilliant. He's caught some giant fish in his life.
Got some Padawan stuff going on.
Yeah, except for he's like way better looking than me. He looks like he's like 6'2", and he played D1 football. Yeah, no. He looks like freaking Superman. This kid, he does. Perfect teeth, awesome kid.
Oh man.
If you had a daughter, this is the kind of guy you'd want marry your daughter. Yeah. That.
But Tim, seriously, in all seriousness, I appreciate you being a good friend to me. I appreciate you being a good friend to the whole catfish community. Thank you for what you've passed on to us.
Dude, I love you all. I love all of you because, I see myself in all of you. I really do. I see myself in the struggle. I see myself in the success.
Oops. Sorry.
I thought Hank was cutting us off.
Sorry.
And if you talk to Epic and you don't get challenged to go out there and show your catfish savage, like I'm sitting here feeling embarrassed. I'm like, man, I turned into I was a catfish savage at one time, and now I'm a host. I need to be a catfish savage again.
I haven't got to the
Thanks
angry.
for everybody coming in. We shall see you guys next Sunday.
Deuces.
Everybody have a good night.
All right,
Stay
Lance.
sweet.
Thank you. Peace.
We gotta go. We gotta go.
Now I'll hit the button.
Good to see everybody.